Hello. Hold on. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Peace to you. Rich Turner, thank you for stopping by. Hello, Brother Successful. Thank you for stopping by. Happy Saturday, guys. Look, y'all know how it is, how it goes. Thank you guys for stopping by. Please like the video. So, I did a poll on my community tab. And let me go to my poll. Hey, Almond Eyes, welcome. Happy Saturday. So glad to see you. I was eating a banana. Y'all, I'm struggling today. But I was definitely still going to show up. So I've been testing out Saturdays to live stream for my channel. I did it like 2 weeks ago. Y'all, we had like 4 hours under our belt. I think almost 4 hours for a live stream. So that was like the longest time I've live streamed ever on my channel. And so that was interesting. And you guys made that possible because I can't just sit here and talk to myself for 4 hours. I mean, I could, but then I'd probably be looking crazy. So I did a poll on my community tab. It was like really late, early in the morning. And I just asked, what did you guys want to talk about today? You said send your brother some cheesecake. Look, I can't do the cheesecake, but I will send some. I'll make it just for you. And I will send it to you because I can't touch that, y'all. If y'all seen my little workout videos, that's what I'm on. I cannot. It was good. I make a Oreo cheesecake. I only make it during the holidays or like if it's like a special occasion, my family requested. And it's this Oreo cheesecake. It was actually a recipe I got from my grandmother, so my father's mother. And so it's like a real simple, basic. You don't even have to put it in the oven. It's like 4 or 5 ingredients. And then, since I've had children, they like Oreo crazy. And so I made an Oreo version of that. So I only make it during the holidays. And so, of course, whenever I make it, it's like demolished, right? Because I'm not a baker. That's not my thing, but I can cook. That is my strong suit. So I definitely, it is good. It is very rich. And again, it's not something that I make that often. They do. They take a lot of work. So my grandmother's recipe is really quick. It's simple. I do have the video on my channel for those of you who want to check it out. But it's really quick. It's really simple. Nothing too major, like basic stuff. And it's really just sweetened condensed milk, cream cheese blocks, vanilla extract. What else is it? Sweetened condensed milk, vanilla extract, cream cheese, and some lemon juice. So that's it. You just throw that into a bowl. Let the cream cheese soften though before you do it. Don't let it over soften, right? So leave it out for maybe an hour and at room temperature. Throw that in the bowl. Throw in your cream cheese. I mean, that is the cream cheese. You throw in the sweetened condensed milk, the vanilla extract, and the lemon juice. You do not have to put any additional sugar. The sweetened condensed milk is sweet enough. I also added my additional recipe or additional, hey, Red Lipstick Vibes. I'm so happy to see you over here as well. I'm just going over like an Oreo cheesecake recipe, or you can do whatever with the cheesecake that you want. I was telling them I'm not a baker, but I do make this cheesecake recipe during like the holiday time. So Christmas, Thanksgiving, or like a birthday request or something like that. And it's super easy. It just comes together in one bowl. I did add the additional step of putting in whipped cream just to give it a little bit more fluffiness. And it's really, really good. Like I said, my kids tear it down. And, that's it. I'm just staying away from that though. But if I ever wanted to have something like that, I might just go pick one up from the bakery, or I'll make some for my family and let them have it. And I'll just get a little sample. Yeah, it's super good. I thank you. And y'all, if y'all do not know about Red Lipstick Vibes channel, please put your channel in the chat so we know. Hold on, I need to do something. I'm getting distracted, y'all. But please put your let us know about your channel. And She had an amazing chat this morning about wives. So there was about 6 women on this panel, amazing sisters talking about all the different ups and downs of marriage and what it requires as a woman in marriage, if you are pursuing marriage, if that's what you want to do. And so it was amazing. I was brought to tears, y'all. I'm super sensitive. Oh, you're so very welcome, Realistic Vibes. You have an amazing channel. And what you're doing is definitely needed for sure in this community, because young women need to know that there is hope for marriage. Marriage is not a prison sentence. It is not a bid. Okay, but you definitely have to put the work in. You do need to be committed. It is not a fly-by-night thing. You need to be in it for the long haul. And so if you are a woman seeking marriage, or you just feel like you need some support and some encouragement throughout your marriage, please check out her channel. That's also what I'm striving to do over here. Please understand that the content that I post is strictly for building communities and families. All is welcome, or all are welcome over here. It is definitely a commitment, and you can do it. I got married when I was 24. I'm in my mid-30s now. I have 3 beautiful children. I wouldn't have it any other way. I do not want to do this life thing by myself, and Lord willing, I will not have to. So definitely, you can learn from the women in this space for sure. But I'm so glad to see you here. And so I want to go back and capture some things that I missed. Okay, y'all just saying hi to each other. But yeah, Saturday is just whatever we want to talk about. I have no true agenda on my channel. Some days we just go with the flow over here. I'm still building my community over here. So this is an opportunity for you to learn more about me, but also me to connect with you guys, because I wouldn't do this without people watching my channel. I am still a baby in my channel growth and development. I've only been doing this for, I think it's 4 months now, going on 5. So I'm definitely learning a lot of things. I have always been on YouTube, but I decided to make that leap to do my own content for myself as an adult. I've already have a channel, which is a family channel. And so I've been doing that for about 2 years now. So editing and doing all the actual content piece has not been difficult for me. But as far as actually focusing on me and the things that's important to me and showcasing that exclusively to YouTube, this is something that is new. So definitely, this is something that I am like passionate about. But please give me some grace, because I'm going to struggle, and I already know that coming in the gate. So I think that was one of the things that I anticipated, I prepared for, and that was a little easier of a transition for me. So please help your sister out. If you can't hear me, or my audio is bad, or my visual, I should say, please let me know. If you have any ideas, suggestions, or anything, please do not hesitate to drop those in the chat. I do go back and rewatch my streams. I do go back and read the chats of things that I may have missed, because I do value what you guys say, because you could do anything else with your time today. And I really appreciate you guys supporting me. So let me see. Let me go up. So you're saying that you need to check that out. So Almond Eyes is saying, I am seeking marriage, spend too much time taking care of family and neglecting self. You know what? I'm glad that, you bring it up, because I also went through that, especially in my younger years, being there for family all the time. Hey, I need you to do this, or let's go out and do this. And I did a stream the other night, and we talked about Corey Holcomb, and he had a live stream Tuesday night. I love Corey Holcomb. He can be very vulgar, but he speaks a lot of truths as respect to the community. He is a man that's lived a long life. He's over 50 years. And so he has a perspective that, although it's not the most clean, I should say, but it's definitely one that is warranted. And he gives that perspective straight up, no chaser. So he talked about how there's things that women need to do differently. And so definitely being particular about where you go, who you're giving your time to, and what your intentions are. And I talked about that. And I even put myself out there as transparent to say, I used to go to the clubs a lot. I used to be in those places, and I had to remove myself. Like, even when I look at my pictures, I could tell that I was not a woman that was supposed to be doing those things, because I always looked different. And not to say that I'm better than anybody, because I'm not, but I just kind of knew differently. without even trying to do differently per se, if that makes sense. But I knew that if I was going to continue to go down that path of basically people pleasing, I would not even been married. And so I had to recognize the things I need to do. Another thing that I recognized early on is I had to lose some weight. And this is no shade to anybody. Everybody has their own thing, but I had to take control of my health. And also, as you will probably see on my channel, after having been married, getting comfortable, and after having had 3 children, I've definitely had to make some changes and put myself first as well. Putting yourself first is not selfish, and it also means to align yourself with the direction that you want to go for your future. You're going to have to cut out some things. You're going to have to kind of not isolate yourself, but remove yourself from certain situations and certain type of environments, so that way you can do what you need to do to get the outcomes that you desire. And that is not going to be easy. And are you willing to do that? And I had to be willing to do that. And I had to experience loss through that. But I'm so thankful, because I would have not been 12 years in this thing of marriage and having 3 children by the time I was 30. So definitely it's not too late. But it's going to take some time and some commitment for yourself, for sure. Any tips on how to become visible? I don't go out much. So I definitely will get back to this question, because I think it's going to take a little bit of time. And then what does my bro Successful say? He says, there is nothing wrong with being committed to one person. Only selfish people would make marriage hard. I agree. You guys know the echo chamber, the conversations that are going around by women who are small-minded, and some men too, but mostly women. Marriage is slavery, right? Marriage, if you're doing a bid, I'm all about me, this, that, and the third. And again, there's nothing wrong with being about yourself. But at the end of this thing, do you want to be like Tracy Ellis Ross, talking about, she's having this epiphany, a little bit of resentment, and she's had to, quote unquote, make peace with the decisions that she's made, as if those decisions were the responsibility or to be blamed on other people, particularly men. Okay. You got to think about what you want your life to be. And as soon as you know that, you got to do it. Thank you, Successful. I appreciate the support. All right. So we got Mark Dickerson. We hope everyone is having an amazing weekend. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking. I hope everyone is as well. And again, thank you, Wrench Turner, for showing up. He is such a supporter. Please put Wrench Turner's channel in the chat. Hold on, I got to do something. And then hold on, let's see. I want to make sure I speak to everybody. I feel like I was going back a little bit. Hey, Chelsea, look at you. Enjoy your workout. We have to get our workout in. I'm thinking in the next 2 weeks, because next weekend is all about kids' birthdays and all that good stuff. Next weekend. So maybe the following weekend, or if you're available on a Friday morning, let me know if that works for you too. I could meet you where you are. Let's see. And yes, if you have a channel, please let everyone know in the chat. Your channel will be dropped. Yes, next 2 weeks. Look, we know life gets full and it gets busy. And Chelsea has an amazing channel as well. She talks about relationships. She has a great skill set for pulling those trending topics and applying it to Christian values, and how we can utilize those as teachable moments to apply to ourselves in our life, especially if we want a different outcome for ourselves. So please check out Chelsea's channel. She goes live on Wednesdays between 6 or 8 o'clock. But if you follow her or subscribe to her channel, hit the notification bell, then you will know when she goes live. Okay. So, and I want to drop the link in the chat. I said I'm going to start doing that early on in the video, so that way you have an opportunity. If you want to come up and chat with me, please do so. Don't be scared. Okay. I do not bite. And even if I did, how could I? We are all virtual. Okay. So let's see. So I want to go back to Almond Eye's question. So any tips on how to become visible? I don't go out much. So I always think about this, and not always, but on occasion, I think about if I was a single woman, what would I do to, like you said, make yourself visible in the community? So even when we are a work in progress, because we are all a work in progress, as long as God gives us grace and mercy to be here, no matter what our situation is, we all have room for improvement. So I would say you need to put yourselves in environments where men would be of a particular type of, I guess, caliber, I would say. And again, nobody is perfect, but you got to put yourself in certain situations. So, think about the places or the things that you enjoy, right? If there's an activity that you like to do and there's an opportunity to volunteer, and we know that there's a likelihood of some men being there, go there. A church outing, or if there is something else in the community, you know what is a good tool for networking? And it doesn't require money. Sometimes it does, depending on what the situation is, but go to Eventbrite. Literally go to Eventbrite. The app is free, or you can just go to the website, but I do think they make you sign up. But the sign up is quick and easy. Find out some activities that are in your community. And then if there's a low cost or a free activity, or even if you have to pay, go to those activities so you can just be in the mix. Okay. Or if you are in these groups online, or you are part of these different chats and channels, and you know that there's an event or a some type of meet and greet or a meetup or something like that, if that is something that you can swing, make an effort to go there. Just you have to go out every single day. I mean, not every day, but as much as you can to be visible, to give you that experience of having those interactions. Probably for most of us, or maybe not, me not speak for most of us, but since we had the panorama and we have kind of been a little more isolated than usual, a lot of us may not have had as much contact with people. So a lot of us, we do have to do a relearning and an unlearning of different type of social skills. But we definitely have to put forth the effort to, as long as it's something that you're comfortable with, don't be pressuring yourself to do things that is just against your values and your morals, but definitely find some wholesome activities where the type of men that you desire, especially if you want marriage, would frequent. Do anybody else have any ideas? Please drop them in the chat. If you are interested in marriage, you are dating for marriage and being intentional in that way. If you like to go bowling, go bowling. If you are a person that is, I don't know, you like to read, go to the bookstore and the libraries, okay? Go to the Starbucks and get a book and sit down and read. Go to just any type of event. Just find something. Like I said, go to Eventbrite, look on Facebook to see what groups they have that's in your community. You're so welcome, Gail. Look, I wish I could have came up on that chat. I actually work now at nighttime, so I had the ability to be in the chat but not actually come up. But I'm going to come up on one of your lives one day because I was dying laughing. Please drop Gail's channel in the chat. She has an amazing channel. She talks about the hot topics as well when it comes to women and relationships, and just all relationships in general, as well as other societal concerns that goes on that impact marriage and relationships. There's my bro, Theo. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome. Please put your channel in the chat. He also has an amazing channel. He covers those hot topics as well when it comes to relationships and just funny stuff, and he puts his own spin on it. Are you going live today? Let us know, please. So what is successful says, he said, I can't get my body to adjust to your time zone to catch your live stream. And I know it can be difficult for some of the folks that we support. And like I said, if it had not been for me working, I was able, and usually I'm able to come for some of her live. And then I have to I usually fall asleep because I'm just that tired. But because I work at night now on just that one day, I can catch your stream and hang out. Yes, please subscribe to Gail's channel. If you have a channel, please put it in the chat or let the mods know and they will put it in the chat, please. But yes, I was crying laughing. I mean, it was so bad. I had tears coming down my eyes, Gail. If you guys know me, please check out brother Rich Turner's channel. Strong supporter, amazing brother. Please check him out. He is always showing love. He is all about men bettering themselves, okay? So they can be the best men that they can be. No excuses for themselves, their community, for their families or future families. Please check him out. So Chelsea is asking, is the audio choppy or is it just you? Please let me know if the audio is choppy, guys, because I want to make sure I sound the best that I can for you. Please let me know. I know I had messed around. So Chelsea, I don't think you were here the other night when I did a live stream. So I did something new. I did a reaction to a it's called a gold digger prank, but it's no prank at all. These young ladies are so serious about their lifestyle. And you should know what you want, but those women are not marriage minded. They're not there. And so I was able to share the actual video and the audio was great. It wasn't low or anything. So I don't know if when I made that adjustment, if it is impacting my audio, but please let me know, guys, if the audio is good. Put like a 1 in the chat or just say it's good or something. Let's see. Okay, so you think it's good now. And then Theo says, audio sounds good to me. Look, one of these days I'm going to get a mic, but today ain't that day. So, and you know what? And that is so true. You do have to wait till your kids go to sleep. Me too. As much as I try to say, okay, you know, I have a set bedtime range. And if you have little ones or little people in your family, you know what I'm talking about, you know, you got to wait till they go to bed because mothering and parenting is an all day thing. And you don't want to do anything to throw off your family's routine and schedule. So I tend to wait until it's like late at night, unless it's like a day like today. My kids could care less about what I'm doing. They have their own opportunity to be independent, do their own thing. And so we don't have to worry about that. But when it's Monday through Friday, you know, we got to stick to that routine. And then we have to wait till they are in the bed. Everybody is settled. We have had dinner. We have had our bath time. We have done everything to get ready for school. And we are in the bed, laying down, going to La La Land. So you got to do what you got to do, right? So Chelsea thinks it's because you're outside. So yes, for sure. I had planned to do some live streaming during the day, during the week, but I don't think that's going to happen because, you know, there's just so many things I have to do to prepare for my household and get things situated. So I don't think it's going to happen for me right now. So I'm going to stick to Saturdays during about this time so I can do some lives. Hello, Lawrence. Thank you for stopping by. I so appreciate you for showing up. Look, y'all could be doing other things. We know you don't have to be here. So I appreciate you whenever you stop by for whatever amount of time that you have. But please remember to hit the like button, please. And I just thank you for being here. So I was saying before I get easily distracted, guys. It's like adult baby brain, you know? So I had did a poll on my channel and only 3 of y'all voted, but it's okay. I posted super early in the morning. I think I was posting while I was in Gail's chat and I just said, what do you guys want to talk about? And so majority of you just said open dialogue. And then the rest of you said, it was probably just one person that said trending topics and stories. So we're just going to continue to have some open dialogue. Is there anything that you guys have questions about? I put the link in the chat for the if you want to come up and have a conversation with everybody or with me, there is the link if you choose to do so. No pressure. Okay. I have not been keeping, look, it's so many things that's going on. I try to get bits and pieces of things. Y'all, I was just a little disturbed about a couple of local stories that have been happening in my area, especially as it pertains to mental health. There was a really sad story. And unfortunately, I work in an environment where I hear a lot of sad stories when it comes to children and families. And so I try to stay away from the news to a degree, and as far as certain things. And that's why sometimes I enjoy the ratchetness that goes on with some celebrity stuff, because despite all the messiness, it still brings to light some of the issues in the community. But there was just a story that I had been trying to keep up with that was local. And just a quick little background about it. So there was a family of 4. It was a mom. She was about 35 years old. This was in Michigan, Pontiac, Michigan. And this happened about 4 days ago. And if you're in the area, you might know what I'm talking about. And actually, not AK News. I don't know. I thought I seen someone cover it, but maybe I'm wrong. I might be misspeaking. But there was a family of 4, and they were the mom was experiencing a mental health crisis, and so she had told her children, we need to go, someone is trying to delete us. So she had 3 of her children with her, a 10-year-old daughter, and then her 2 sons. One was age 3, the other one was age 9. And so they were going through a wooded area that used to be like a former housing community. And so, Chelsea, you know what I'm talking about. And hello, it's Party Line. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you for being here. And basically, the family was on the run. So mom had a mental health crisis. And again, this is what they are reporting, the media and the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. And basically the mom had these children out late at night, throughout the night. And then they were found, I want to say either Wednesday or Thursday morning, they had froze to death. And except for the daughter, she was had severe hypothermia. And basically the daughter was able to kind of tell what the mom had instructed them to do. So at first we didn't know when we heard about it, when they just said on the news, they found the family of 4. Matter of fact, my son, he was the one who brought it to my attention, because we have our sons read local news articles, or just news in general. So they read stuff about tech, finance, all those things. And so they were the ones that brought it to my attention. And so we didn't know what happened, if it was foul play. And so per the media and per Oakland County Sheriff's, this was no foul play. Mom was going through a mental health crisis, and they passed away from hypothermia, except for the 10-year-old daughter. And the daughter said that the mom basically told them they had to keep running. If anyone approached them, they were to, ignore them and just keep running. And that's what they did. And so it's super sad, because, we know that there's an intense strain on the community mental health system all over the place. There's not enough professionals. There's not enough money. There's not enough beds in these psychiatric units and hospitals. And a lot of states have closed down psychiatric facilities. And so I know people are waiting for days and days to get into facilities for inpatient treatment, or just to get an assessment. I remember when I used to be a foster care worker, and I had to wait sometimes 10 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours, just so someone could come from CMH to do a mental health assessment. And so we definitely know that there is a lack of quality mental health services. And that is super unfortunate that family had to endure that. And that little girl that is a severe trauma that she's going to have to live with and heal from for the rest of her life. The family said that, they couldn't help her. And it always makes me think about, well, what could the family have done? And sometimes family can't do anything, because at the end of the day, that's still that mother's children. And then it also brings me back to, where were the fathers for those children, or the father? I don't want to assume she had more than one father for her children, but where was the father at for those children? Could they have helped, if at all? And this is why I say, women and men, we need to do better about how we select the spouses, or, the potential parents to our children, because that is something that is definitely going to make a difference when we talk about building communities. And not to say that no one experiences mental health crisis, because they do. Anybody can, right? Because that's just life. But we definitely know it starts with the decisions that we make, and also having quality mental health providers in the community. There's so many reasons why there are not quality mental health providers. One is that the insurance companies, especially public health funded or publicly and federally funded health plans, don't pay very much. And so if you are a person that is a professional, and if you do not know, I'm in the process of becoming clinically licensed in the state of Michigan for social work. Do I want to be a therapist? I don't know if that's going to be my calling, because my first ministry is to my family. But if that's where God leads me, then I may do that. But in essence, I have done counseling throughout my career. But we know that they don't pay very much. And these professionals have to take care of themselves as well. There's also the stigma that comes from working with insurance companies, because you have to basically say, and put in your medical records that's going to be there throughout your entire life that you have some type of mental health diagnosis. And if you do not know, especially in many states, if you are able to, for example, carry the pew pew and protect yourself because you have the right to bear arms, you can't even have a mental health diagnosis and carry a firearm legally in certain states. So that is a whole nother conversation. So a lot of people just do not want that stigma. And then in our community, there is still a stigma about obtaining mental health services because we don't want to be labeled as something wrong with us. And I am here to say that it is okay to seek mental health services because a mental health provider should be holding you accountable, helping you and meeting you where you are, and giving you some tangible and some realistic tools so you can address your own needs in the absence of a mental health professional, and creating some type of crisis plan, some type of safety plan for you, and especially if you have a family. So yeah, it's really sad. That really had me messed up. And even my sons were so concerned. But I try not to talk about this stuff because I deal with it so often professionally that I try to stay away from that. But on the other hand, we can't help but to kind of cross paths because that is what's going on in the community, and it's getting worse. So yeah, we were just having some open conversation today. Anything you guys want to talk about, to know if I know anything about or lend anything to the conversation? And please like the video. Please excuse me, guys. I am going to have a little sip of my tea. Okay. Y'all see my mug? Y'all like it? I feel like this the grown woman mug. Just a little tea. So we have Party Lime. Party Lime says, my tip for where the good men are: they work till 4 or 5 p.m. They shop at Home Depot and Lowe's between 6 and 7. Hello. I totally forgot about that. Thank you, Chelsea. I think it was like $6 or $7 at TJ Maxx. You know how they have all the cute Valentine's Day stuff, and I was just like, I needed a new mug, something that's like personal for me. I didn't want just like a plain little white mug, looks a little boring. I was like, let me get this one. The one I had, other than this one, I had one I bought before this one, but it was cracked and I didn't see it. So I wound up taking it back, and then I got this one. Look. Thank you for that. Wait a minute. Did I say somebody's name wrong? I think I called Lawrence as Party Lime. Y'all, blame it on my vision. Blame it on my head, not my heart, y'all. But that is a good tip. You have a man telling you, and that's what I want to hear. Men, tell us where we're going to meet some good men at. Please tell us. See? And then here comes Almond Eye. She says, I need to go to Home Depot anyway. I need a few acrylic sheets for a sign I'm working on. Okay, so Lawrence, tell us, if we're going to go to Home Depot, how should we look? What should we wear if we're going to try to get a man at Home Depot? Talk to me, talk to us. If we need to go to Home Depot in maybe an hour, 2 hours, how should we come to Home Depot so we can be visible for the men? Okay, for the men. Did y'all ever see on TikTok or on Instagram, one of them places, the girls that do the look at my butt pranks, and they go into those places and they put like the phone in their butt, they put the butt pad shorts on underneath their jeans, and then they have their camera in their back pocket, and then so they're coming in there with the jeans on, and then the men are looking at them, and they get all that on the camera. They can see every man that's looking at them, and then they put it on the upload it to social media. It's kind of funny, but it's creepy. Hello, Cafe 702. Happy Saturday. Glad you can join us. Yep, Home Depot, Lowe's. What's the other one that we have in like the Midwest in Michigan? Menards. Go there. Okay. Get some good, strong men. Okay. What else can we do, men? We need to know. We have women asking, where do we go to meet the good men? This is marriage-minded women that are ready to make some changes, bring a man. We ain't trying to be independent. We don't want to be independent. We're not trying to carry no weight on our shoulders. Now, to say that successful, it's sad that most people want the top 3% when most of the men are average. Or are you trying to say women are average? Home Depot, hello, we are all, I'm average, okay? And average is not a shot. Average is not bad. And someone posed this on, excuse me, I'm going to also have, in addition to my tea, my protein drink. Okay, I love these. This is the Cake Batter Delight. So I'm going to have this as well. So excuse me, but I'm going to drink it with a straw. Refreshing. Okay, so there was a conversation and a perspective about average, right? Let me know what you think about this. So the woman basically said that we like to throw around and use the term average when we talk about this whole how we view people in society, and that most average people get with average people. But she brought a perspective that I never thought about. She said, have we ever thought about the fact that if your man is working, that if your man is fit, and again, he's not in the top 3% of income earners. Is he working? Is he at least physically fit? Like, does he do some type of exercise? Does the man know how to cook for himself? Does the man have some life skills for himself? Can he keep himself safe? They said, is he good with money? Her perspective is that we also wouldn't probably think that that man is average. So stop thinking that average men are men that do not have any positive skills, right? So I was like, okay, that kind of made me think a little bit differently about that. At least personally, it did. As far as when we think about average, and not to say that I thought that average was bad, because I never did, but it's just like that is a perspective to just think about. Those are still strengths. Okay. The money is not enough. I'm going to have my cheat meal tonight, fried chicken. I'm over here working too hard. What exercises are you doing today, Chelsea? And are you frying the chicken yourself, or are you just going to go somewhere and let them do all the work? Like you know who I like for fried chicken? We have a place called Captain Jay's, and I don't know if it's like everywhere, but I like their chicken. The lemon pepper wings, they be good. And so Almond Eye says, I never wanted to be independent. I got forced into it, having to take care of everyone. Yep. And the thing about that too is you got to choose yourself. I got to choose me first, Lucius. I got to choose me first. Okay. And it is difficult when you have a caretaker role and responsibility. And statistically, that is the direction that most of America is going towards now, with, the lack of where people can go, right? There's not enough places for enough people that need care. And not to say we want to default to that necessarily, right? You want to take care of your loved ones if possible, but you do have to think about what you're going to do for yourself to make sure you're straight and you're going to be taken care of as well as you taking care of the person that you care about. Okay, so you have a few thoughts. One sec. Please come up if you want to. I put the look. Let me zoom. Okay. I'm going to add the link again. Please come up if you want to come up. Okay. I don't bite. I don't do the vampire thing. Okay. So Chelsea says, I'm going to get mine from Famous Days, laughing out loud. You know, I'm doing that exact circuit today that we did together last time. So you know what's funny? So my trainer also has me doing the same workouts, and I understand why trainers have you doing some of the same workouts, and it's really for the conditioning, right? It's to kind of get your baseline and get you prepared. I will say that so far my arms is toning up. We're not doing the flappy arms as much, and it's really testing my endurance. Ladies, please, if you're working out, don't forget them arms. Don't forget that back. Do not forget them shoulders. Backs, arms, and shoulders, especially the shoulders and the backs. I'm talking about the delts help give you a defined waistline, or gives you the illusion of a defined waistline, especially when you strengthen your shoulders and your back. That's just a sidebar. Okay, ladies, we're getting some real tips rolling in real time. Okay, if we're looking for good men and we are women that are in the position. And when I say position, we're good women, we're respectful, we are marriage minded. We know what we had to show up with. We still got improvements to make. Nobody is perfect, but we are in the right mindset. This is how we got to step to the men. Okay. Lawrence says, and this is also a married man, he says 2 tips. 1, don't appear to be dressed like a carpenter or a handyman. Facts, 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 facts. He said, not a lot of makeup. So that's all 1 tip. Don't come dressed like a handyman with a lot of makeup. And then 2, look around like you're lost and ask your hero for help. Facts, 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 facts. That is solid advice. That is so simple. We can do that today in real time, ladies. And hello. Hold on. Your name got cut off because this thing be, okay, cutting off, y'all. Project Leroy, thank you for stopping by and spending some time with me today. I appreciate you so very much. And then what does Chelsea say to that? She says, only times I wear makeup is for special events. I don't want to have to depend on that. Absolutely. And I'll say this, and let me know if I'm off, Lawrence. The reasons why I believe Lawrence is saying this is because, for one, men want to see your natural femininity. They want to see you as your natural self, and makeup and excessive things does not equate to being feminine. Okay. We want to see you what you look like on a typical day, but you're still looking very ladylike. Okay. What is your natural hair situation? Or if you don't wear your natural hair, does it look decent and presentable and not excessive? There's nothing. So for me, I'm going to tell you what I do as far as makeup. When I come on here, even on this stream, I have no foundation on. Can I put some foundation on? Will I put some foundation on occasion? Absolutely. But I do not walk out going to the gym, going to Target, going to the grocery store with excessive makeup on. I will do like a skin tint, something that looks very natural. I don't want to look like is giving drag. That's not what you want to do. Very natural. If you do not know how to pick out natural looking makeup, you need to go to YouTube, or you need to go into an Ulta, or you need to go into a Sephora. They have these little devices that do skin match, and you let them know what you want. Don't let them tell you what you want either. You got to kind of, be direct with them. Say, look, I want some foundation. I do not wear a lot of foundation. I don't want to look like a clown. I want to look like myself. What is a product that I can use? Okay. If you got we're going to all have blemishes. Get a basic foundation. I get the Lip Bar foundation. It's a skin tint. They are based in Detroit, but they are in Walmart. They are in Target all over the country. Black woman-owned foundation. It's a one-step product. It's the foundation with the moisturizer. You only use a little bit. It's like $17, and a little goes a long way. It is so natural. That's what I usually wear if I wear makeup on the stream, or even when I go out somewhere and I want to be fancy. I wore it even for my cousin's wedding. And everybody was talking about how good my makeup looked, even though I looked like myself. And I did it myself because I didn't want nobody beating my face and I was looking like a drag queen. But that's a whole nother thing. Yes, he is giving out free game today. Okay. You want to listen to the men. Okay. Yes, men do not want surprises. They do not want to see you when you're showing up. You looking like, how when you go in the club and the lights come on, when we all in the dark, everybody look good. But when the lights come on, it's not giving what it was supposed to give in the dark. We don't want to do that because then it's giving we were tricked and hoodwinked and bamboozled, but we don't want to do that. Okay. And I'm going to say this too. Definitely a plethora of jokers out there. Oh, for sure. And then you said, right, me too. Oh, Lawrence is telling you he's an experienced man. He was married at 24 too. Wife was 18, married for 45 years, 2 young adults and 2 grandkids. Congratulations. That is amazing, Lawrence. Look at you showing out. Look, you're going to have to come up here and talk to us. Okay. I appreciate you. Look, a man with experience, the time, he has put the work in. He is telling you what you need to do. Chelsea, hello. It's giving very much Casper vibes. Okay. Casper, we don't want to look like Casper. So Hold on, you was done. Wait a minute, Epoxy. You're doing some type of like art project or something like that. But yes, she says we got her full attention. Okay. And then what does Cafe say? And again, please like the video, guys. We're getting free game up in here on this good Saturday. Okay. So you ladies who frequent black male spaces, you all know the deal. So KS, rest in peace, said, you have to be proactive. You will have to initiate asking for advice and opinions. Absolutely. Let me tell y'all something about how I met my husband. We were at a bowling alley. Okay. It was a bowling alley. I don't even know if this place is still open, but it was like a bowling alley. And guess who initiated? I did. He was watching me. He told me he was watching me. Okay. And I initiated. I did. I was like, oh, he look cute. He look good. He looks nice. He's not all he ain't loud and doing too much. And I initiated. And from there, it was on him as well to choose to engage in an interaction, having conversations, and also the relationship. So there it is. Do not be afraid. Now, you don't have to be aggressive. You do not try to be like a dude, because we are not men. We may try to be like men, some of us, but don't overdo it. Okay. But I was the initiator. No matter how good I thought I looked. Was I looking good? Yes, I was. It was plenty of men approaching me. I was not interested. Okay. I wanted that one right there. And then said, we black men can't tell who you are without you telling us. You follow KS or you rock with black men, etc. Besides smiling and being feminine, you have to be seen, if that makes sense. Yes. You have to stand out. You have to be naturally nice. I can't tell you how many times I go to places and I feel like I'm the only woman that's smiling. And I'm just talking about being in just every day. We going out, we're running errands, we're just living life. People won't smile, and especially women. I don't know what the deal is about this situation. One day I was with my husband. This was probably about 3 weeks ago. And I can't remember where we were. We were in some store and we were walking by. And then my husband was just like, like speaking to a woman. The woman looked him in the face and didn't even say anything to him. Ma'am, he ain't trying to holler at you. Okay, just you can speak. What that cost you? Hold on. I'm missing stuff. Y'all have to remind me to get a mouse every day. I keep forgetting to get a mouse. If I go out today, I may pick one up in the store, because it's trying to scroll on this little thing on this software is giving me the flux. So yes, they look like a different person. I would hope that if you see me today, that I look the same when you see me in person. And the only reason why I probably I fill in my eyebrows, because God didn't give me no eyebrows. He gave them to my kids. I don't have another eyebrow or eyelash. But guess what? Even despite that, that's never kept the man from not looking my way. Okay. Be yourself. When there's a whole new thing online, and it's not even really new, but there is a whole thing of now these young girls are telling women to stop wearing their natural hair. Have y'all seen that? I'm going to find a clip and I'm going to post it and I'm going to roast the person, because that to me is just uncalled for. It don't matter how much hair you got. Wear your own hair sometimes. I got videos about how you can style your hair at any length, and I'm growing my hair out. It don't take a lot of things. Black women mean mugging at the gym. That is another place where I get bad looks, at the gym. Women that not non-black women, they're nice. And I hate to say that. There are the only black women out now. Let me say this. The only black women that are nice are usually the older black women. There are some older black women. And I will say this, my gym, I'm fortunate that it is pretty diverse, but it's really not a representation of what most gyms look like to begin with. But overall, there's still more non-black women that go to this gym on any given day than black women. But there's still a lot of black women that frequent this gym. And the ones that I tend to encounter, they are not nice, except for the older women. Okay, they will speak. They might even ask you to help them with something, and they're still speaking and they're nice. So what this almond eye, see, I had a few tumblers that I need to get under epoxy and get on the turners. You should put that on your channel. Please do that. I would love to see what that looks like. That's not my skill set or area expertise. And what does success will say? Bad energy bottled up on the inside. Facts, 100%. I don't know what the attitude is about, you know. And again, you are going to have to make some intention too. You got to practice, but just practice smiling. Hi, how are you? You don't even got to have a full-blown conversation. And you know, and also don't flatter yourself. All men that you greet are not trying to holler at you. Don't think that. There's women I've seen, men were generally trying to be nice to them, and they won't even get the man just trying to be nice and help. And you turn down the assistance. And then Project Leroy, he's talking to Project Leroy. I always see her from the inside out. Her eyes never change. And when she smiles, it's 45 years ago. Facts. Absolutely. Hold on, I'm missing some. The Black older women are nice. Some of them, most of them. There's some of them that they be out of pocket, but in general, most of them are nice. I will say that. Janesta, hi, dear. She says, how are you doing today at work right now? So I hope you are enjoying your Saturday. I thank you for stopping by, despite you having to work today. I appreciate you. I am doing well. A little tired because I am having a new work schedule, but I'm feeling good. I went to the gym yesterday, got a fire workout in where I did and y'all probably seen, I just show a little snippets, I should say, of my workout, but it was just all upper body back. I did some running at the end. So that was good. That was a nice hard workout for me to push me for the week. What else? But thank you for asking, Janesta. And you said that's because those bitter women are at the gym for the wrong reasons. Absolutely. I agree. You're supposed to be there. That's supposed to be your peace and your time, you know. I'm not trying to have a conversation with you because I want to get to my workout as well, but you don't got to be mean. She said, what did Chelsea say? I had to roll my eyes at one of these young girls. Woo. I know. It's really bad out here. People don't even say excuse me anymore. Like it's the level of the lack of social skills. It's sad. Chelsea says the gym is therapeutic, as it should be. Hold on, let me see. Yep, caregiver jobs never end. That is for sure. I have worked with people who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. I did that for about 5 to 7 years. And so I used to be the social worker that goes out to the group home. And you gotta like people. Unfortunately, the people that go on those or take them jobs and to be a role of a caregiver, they know you can tell who cares and who doesn't. I say the same thing about if you want to be a parent. You have to be in the mindset of these are my children. They are my responsibility along with the father. And I'm going to find joy in taking care of my children because that is the deepest responsibility or job I could ever have is to take care of some kids. Okay. To take care or just to take care of another person in general, you know. So we want to do it with dignity and respect. Always treat people, even children, like they are people, not property. And you know, watch how we talk to people. I used to get complaints all the time of people being verbally abusive or physically abusive. You don't have to be there. Don't come to this job just because it's about the money. The money, they don't even pay you enough to be here. So if you don't like it, then find something else to do that you enjoy. Y'all. So y'all, we getting the free game up in here. Men, any other tips about what women need to do to meet the man? I'll say this: if women are not where they need to be, should women still be? And when I say not need to be, as far as, you know, our appearance, if we're working on those things actively, we may not be where we need to be. If we're working on those things, should women still be actively pursuing men in relationships? Should that still be a priority while we are a work in progress? This vibe, this drinking out this mug is giving me like talk show host vibe. Ricky Lake. Excuse me, y'all. What do y'all think? So, Successful says, make sure their mental state is in order. So, what does that look like? How can we make sure our mental state is in order? I just talked about how a lot of us come from broken families. We may have difficult, strained relationships with our, parents or other women or men in our families. The community mental health system or mental health system in general is broken. How are we going to ensure that our mental health is in order? What can we do today to do that? I will say, to ensure that our mental health. Okay, we got two more things. So before I go on that, Project Leroy says, y'all, thank y'all. So this is why I love this, because I need y'all here, because I don't know anything. I'm just a woman that's been married. I don't know nothing. Start gathering resourceful men and keep contacts with them. Tell me why we need to do that, Project Leroy. Tell us why we need to do that as women looking for relationships, long-term relationships, marriage. Lauren's going to say the next tip is going to be on how to keep them. Hello. Can we talk about that? We were just talking about this in Red Lipstick Vibes channel today. Please subscribe to her channel. Please, can someone drop her channel in the chat? We want to do everything that we can to get the man, but we're going to have to keep the man. Like any other relationship, we want to develop and establish a relationship, but we got to maintain a relationship. So what are we going to do that? I posted when I did the reaction video, and the young lady, she couldn't have been older than 2021. And she's telling this man, he's like, well, you want me to take care of you and do A, B, C, and D. And this is on the first day that she met this young man in his nice car. He's a good looking man. She didn't even want to tell the man what her first name was. And she was super rude and disrespectful. And she up here talking about, you want to do everything, this and that. And she talking about, well, I can cook, I can clean. And then he said, you probably can't even do that good. So what can you do? What can we do as women to keep our men, right? So resourceful men are the ones who will continue to produce with you by their side. So then if we're saying that we're going to get resourceful men, are we also saying that the women need to be in a position to assist that man as needed so he can maintain his resources? Because when I heard that young lady talk about all the things that she wants the man to do, but she, to me, wants to have a consumer mindset. I just want the man to have all these means so he can take care of me. And then I'm going to just blow the bag and spend up all the money. And I'm really not going to take care of the home. I just want to buy up stuff and be a consumer. I don't want to help maintain and help build with him. So what do you say to that? Ladies, get your notepads out. Get your phone out. Okay. Get them notes together. Okay. These are things that I would, share with my bonus daughter. I have a stepdaughter. She's 19. We have these conversations. What do you want your future to look like? Do you want to be a woman that's working just so hard in what I don't think, in fields that I don't believe women should be working in? Women should work, yes, but be mindful of the type of jobs you want to take, because that also brings a different type of energy that you don't really want to have. Do you want to work so hard? Do you want to work with somebody? Do you know that the median household income is $44K? So if the median household income is $44K, you're not learning the skills or even taking heed to the information. So you're not a single mama. And then if you got $44K, and that's if you make that, you got a couple of kids that you done brought into the situation and you're not married, you're bringing unnecessary hardship to your life. We don't want unnecessary hardship. Life is too hard already. Get you a good man, a solid woman, and you build together. And I'm still going to go back to successful about making sure the mental status is intact. Okay, so you're saying not being stuck on their past relationships, past failures, and learn how to deal with positive people. I agree. And even to that point about we have all gone through things, right? We have not all made wise decisions. Let's keep it a buck. But you're going to have to learn how to learn from them situations. And especially when you are young, surround yourself with at least a few people. And you need to have at least one man in your life, grandfather, uncle, somebody that's trustworthy, even a friend that can give you the game, okay, about what men want. Don't listen to women that don't have the results. You listen to a bunch of women that don't have a marriage or any suitors, viable suitors in front of you, trying to tell you what you need to do, and then you're single. Okay, you got to be able to have people that you can listen to. You know, you're going to have to make mistakes along the way. Yes, that's true, but because it's your life, but listen to what they have to say and watch how they move to get the results that you desire. So that way you are moving in a way where you can successfully get that man and then work towards keeping that man. And don't dwell on that. Let's get better so we don't have to make those same mistakes. Even if you are a single mother, all hope is not lost for you. But you can't be, okay, I'm a single mother, and then I turn around 2 years later, get another baby with another man, then get another baby. Hello, successful. We got a guest coming up. How are you? Hold on. You got your volume on? Hold on. Speak, successful. Hold on, let me see. Successful. Can you unmute yourself? Look, y'all, I'm struggle streaming. Successful. I want to bring you up, sir. Hold on. I'm going to kick you off. Rejoin. So, yeah, that sounds like my father and my grandfather. And then Chelsea says, I'm thankful for my brothers in Christ who are going to help me vet. That is what we need. You need to have men that are going to help you vet. I would probably say that there are a lot of young women that have men in their life that probably could help them out. All right. Hello, successful. What about now? You good? I still can't hear you. I don't know what is going on. Hi, Bella. Thank you for being here. Happy Saturday. How is you and your family doing? And then hello, Omega Sun. Oh, I saw that you came in here. We're just chit-chatting, y'all. We started talking about Almond Eyes kicked us off with this amazing topic about how we as women can increase our visibility in the community so that way we are proactive so we can get our man, our husbands. So that's where we have started off at, Bella, just to get you caught up. So welcome. Hi, Rod Neal. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you for being here. Oh, heavy on this. Stop making materialism your priority. I'm gonna drop the link again, okay? Because I don't know if we're having some audio issues. If it's me on my end, please don't be discouraged. And if you have a channel, Bella has an amazing channel. She talks all things femininity. Please check out her channel. Maz, if you could put her channel in the chat. If you have a channel and I did not acknowledge your channel, please let me know. Yes, thank you, Bella, for asking. We are well. This is our kind of chill day today. I think I'm liking the Saturdays because I think most people are probably at home, not as busy. And so I'm just trying to find my little time slot that's going to work out for me and to have you guys, stop in and, participate. Because I want to hear from y'all. Look, I don't know everything. I know a little bit about something. Hold on. It's so simple, it's complicated. This is from Mr. Lawrence. Okay. Listen to him. Men are simple. He doesn't ask for much, but what he asks for, he actually insists upon. That is so true. Please listen to your man. Do not listen to other women that are not trying to be where you are. It's just that simple. We all may not get there at the same time, but if we have a common goal, get with them women. Okay. I had to learn that. I had to get away from people that they were not on that same mindset and they were trying to distract me with other things that were going to take me from the path that I needed to go. Okay. Listen to the men. They're telling you. And if you listen to a man that don't make you a slave, okay, don't let nobody bully you. Okay. It is okay to focus on you and your man. And Omega Sun says, good afternoon. You are speaking that wisdom today. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, my channel is about families and relationship and community. And until we get it together as far as having solid marriages, the community part is always going to be broken and lacking. Too often, we talked about that in Red Lipstick's Vibe Chat, and I've said this before on my previous streams. We want to have the babies, but we don't want to have a husband in the relationship. And then you say, Project Leroy said, yes, therefore you reap the benefits of his success and his accomplishments. So you were speaking to when I was saying about having a woman that's going to build with you, right? And so she's there to help you as needed, or not you telling him what you're going to do for him. Let that man tell you what he needs you to help with. And then you're going to step into that role and help him with building your family, your legacy, whatever you and your family's mission is at that time. That is so true. Also, you know, I ask this question and often, what are you? I've asked my 19-year-old this. Are you willing to not work to do for your family? Are you willing to give up the independent lifestyle of working so hard? Working for other people's dreams and not putting your family's mission and values and purpose at the forefront? Would you stay down? Would you stay down and let your man take care of all of that financially? And I'm saying if the man is in a position to do that and you guys are not struggling to the point you're living on the street. Now that's being ideal in reality, but seriously, if you can think about back in the day, our grandparents had little to nothing. My grandparents were two adults from the South, moved here to Michigan and bought a house on the west side of Detroit and made it happen. And they raised 5-6 children successfully. Okay. They were not rich. And when Successful mentioned about the consumerism, this is why you see women working all these jobs, because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to have the newest, the best of everything. Should you look nice and presentable? Yes. But let's kind of think about our intent as far as how we're spending our money, why we are moving in the way that we're moving. Okay. I don't understand spending thousands of dollars on bundles. That's just me. Now, if you are going to wear some weave, I think you should get the good quality weave, but that's just me. Okay. And then what does Janesta say? Most of the successful women I know are single. That includes me. I just have a regular job. Okay. And most of us do have regular jobs. Okay. You said you rejoined the link. I don't see you up here. Maybe this is probably, okay, yeah, you said you did. I don't see you up here in the back. Exit out and click it again for me so I can have you come up, please. Almond Eye says, my maternal grandparents started off with nothing, living with my grandfather's mother, and they worked together and started a business that made 6 figures for over 20 years. So that's a good point, because oftentimes what we see is we want an instant gratification relationship, right? That is what that young woman in that gold digger video was doing. She wanted to just show up and get the full benefits of the man, and she's not even putting the time and the energy. He don't know her from a can of paint. There you go. All right. You ready to come up? You want to be cammed up or you want the camera off? Don't be shy. All right, we're bringing up Successful MD.
Hello, hello.
Saturday. How
You
are
catching your brother in his workout gear.
you? Look, that's good. Look, ain't nothing wrong with that. At least you got workout gear. That means you're working out, right?
Yeah,
So how are you today?
doing pretty good. Still trying to recover. Had a long day at work yesterday, but
Okay, okay.
no complaints, no complaints.
Awesome. So today you're going to wind down and relax. Is that what I'm hearing?
Pretty much
Okay.
had to get some cardio in. I just wanted to share an experience when you were talking about the attitude. I was out working a couple of weeks ago, and
Okay.
there was a young lady trying to get into the service station, but the issue was she had one baby on her hip, and then she was, trying to pull another one. So, me being a gentleman, I was like, hey, let me get the door. But she gave me this look as if I was going to, try to talk to her, but that was not my mission or my plan. I was just, I saw her that she was struggling.
Okay.
So, the look said it all, but, I didn't reply. I was just like, I think that's the problem with our community. We got to change our mindsets and our attitudes. Everything,
Hmm.
you know, begins and ends with our mentality.
I agree. And you know what? You brought up a good point because I think about how when I hear conversations that some women have, they come from this perspective of, you know, black men are out to get them, not like specifically black men. Is some the man is out to get me, and I also related even to sometimes doing business. Some women, all they want to do is work with the sister circle, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all about women working together, but stop jumping the gun and assuming that a man is trying to take advantage of you, that he wants something from you in a sexual manner, that he wants anything like that. He's just trying to take advantage, and that's not the case. Now, I'm not to say that those women or women have not experienced or had bad situations or encounters with men, but I think we need to stop jumping the gun, try our best to get outside of our own inner thoughts about things and assumptions and echo chambers, and just look at the situation for what it is. You are a man in a community doing a good deed, right?
Right.
If you have enough awareness about society and the community, you could probably pick up on that. And again, we should use our sound judgment, but ladies, do not do that. And who's to say that you probably weren't going to meet the man that you could probably have a relationship with because he was being nice? You wouldn't even know because you also have jumped the gun too quick about that as well. Just accept that a man is being nice and just leave it at that and go about your life. Now, depending on where you are, the time of the day, that could play a point in that response too. But the bottom line is the attitude. Whether or not the man had good, just have a pleasant attitude all the way around. Okay. And then you need to learn if it's going a way that you don't want it to go, then learn how to properly reject a man. Okay. Respectfully. You don't got to be nasty about it either. Most men will get the picture. I haven't had that many experiences where a man has just been that rude or that just butthurt about my quote unquote rejections or him making an advance. Just stop thinking so high up on the horse about yourself and just deal with the fact we are humans having human experiences, and a person is just trying to help in the moment. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you think about that.
Well, no, you're correct because you also covered it earlier when you were saying treat people how you want to be treated. And
Mm-hmm.
then at the same time, you have two babies with you. So what kind of energy are you projecting, to
Ooh.
them? So that puts out like that kind of mixture of like that bad B mentality, as
Mm-hmm.
well, that I don't need a man, but yet how are these children being produced, without a man? So it's like you can't shame black men, then at the same time, want their benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, to me, if two people work together, you would appreciate things better and more when you work for them. Because if everything is given to you, then it becomes wasteful. Then you'll end up being like the prodigal son. You had
Mm-hmm.
everything that someone can ask for, but yet you wasted it away. And then sometimes it's too late. You don't get a second chance. But I
Mm-hmm.
think our community has to get back to having some type of foundation, even if you say don't believe in God, that's people's choice. But still, there were structures in the household, with our grandparents, our great grandparents, and they didn't have a lot. But one thing you couldn't take away from them was the love that they had from their family. And like you said, they pretty much had a lot of children because they were having a lot of children to help work around the house, where they were doing like farm work, or wherever you were, in the US Bay. If we don't get back to the basics, then we can't have any improvement, because the foundation has to be solid.
And that's 100%. And this is why, I believe that outside of just me being who I am, and that's something that I had to develop, and it goes back to being a child. When you have a good father in the home, good fathers teach women how to be confident. Good fathers, and Corey Holcomb talked about this, men who are your fathers, or who are your uncles, or who are your brothers, teach women how to have good interactions with men without the sex. When women do not have a man in the home to teach them and demonstrate what that looks like, you have young ladies that act like that young lady, or just like what Almond Eye said, she didn't have her guard up after the first baby, so she kept that same energy now. Absolutely, because now what happens is that you done got with another man, you done had a baby with him, you got disappointed, and then you probably either had another baby with him or with another man. You're still not learning how to have interactions with men in a positive way that don't have sex at the forefront. So you're losing that skill set as a woman. You're not probably listening to men. You're not even taking the time to process what's going on around you. And you probably can't do that now, because guess what? You got 2 kids you got to feed. You got to figure out how you shuffling and hustling and getting the kid to this point to do this. You got to go to this job. You got to go to that job. You can't even be still. And women that could be still, that did not have to worry about all the things that a lot of us put on ourselves today, they miss out on those opportunities. But especially when you are a young girl and you do not have that father, you don't get that skill set. I had to learn some of those skill sets. And even though my father wasn't in the home, I did have a stepfather in the home, and he was not perfect, but I did learn some things from him, right, wrong, or indifferent. And to me, I did learn how to have interactions with men. So for me, it was always naturally easy to be nice to men, right? And on top of that, if a man is approaching me and he's nice and he's attractive, I might want to go on a date with you, And so just stop thinking that you just all of that in a bag of chips, like they say back in the day. Just humble yourself. And then also, I remember I was in the store one day and there was a gentleman and he was just talking to me. He had his daughter. We were just talking for about 10 minutes in the Sam's Club, y'all. But he had a good word for me. I didn't have to know him, but he had a good message for me, especially because I'm a woman in the store of my kids. You don't know if I'm a single mother or not, but after a while having a conversation, he could pick up that I wasn't. But at the end of the day, let's just focus on how we deal with people. Go to places where you can interact with people. Listen to the elders in your community. And elders need to be visible too, to show and teach us how to conduct. Okay, you ain't have a father when you was growing up. Okay, that's fine. But if you come across a woman or a man that can teach you something, and it's and again, that could be difficult, because again, if we don't pay attention enough and we don't have that type of discernment, then we're going to miss that as well. But I'm sure most of us have had at least one person in our life, they're not perfect, but that could have showed us and taught us something, but we choose otherwise. That's also why we see young women picking poorly in men, because they may have somebody, even if it is a woman in their life, a grandmother that can run the man by. They're not going to run the man by them because they don't want to hear what they got to say. And they are also ashamed.
Right.
So then you start dealing with the man. Oops, here come a baby. Then you get a baby with the man. Y'all don't work out. Now you upset and you disgruntled. And now your mindset about men is just that they're all bums. They're trash. That we're doing a man bashing. And every man that we come across, because we thought we had a nice dude before, like you came across that young lady and you try to have a pleasant experience with her just to be a man in the community. You were still a man in the community, no matter what. And she still couldn't receive that. So yeah, I'm doing my part to how I raise my daughters, how I'm helping with my husband to raise our sons. And this is why you have to have mothers and fathers in the home. And even if you're not married to the husband or the father of your children, And if he's a solid man, allow that man to be in your kid's life because he got something very valuable that women do not possess. You need to let that man be in that kid's life so they can get those skill sets up and learn how to deal with people as well. Or another family member in the community, please. Or find a mentoring program. Church, it's places for you to put your children at or for you to go as an adult. There are places. Fine, we can find everything else we want to find. We can find where we get the lashes done at. We can find where we can get the bundles at. We can find the parties to go to. But when we don't want to change our mindset, we want to act like we can't find that information.
That's true. And I think another one of the worst elements is, how people say bashing, like, and this goes for both genders. And I shared this with a content creator. I said that I think the reason why a lot of people label things as negative is because either one, they've never experienced it, or number two, they don't know what it's like to have something that's truly good or truly genuine. So most people's automatic reaction is going to be, oh, marriage is not good, or that's for the birds. That was for people, back in the day. And also, like, some people may not understand like your level or of intelligence, or other young ladies out here that's really trying to move things in a positive direction. And like, you hear the word simp thrown out so much, you hear the word nerd, but to be honest, everyone is a nerd about something. Even people
Mm-hmm.
that's learning how to scam. Being a nerd is really just having a focus or interest on something that you're trying to be better or trying to be good at. So it's like, we need to learn how to properly use our words and stop trying to put them in a negative light. I mean, how
Mm-hmm.
would this world function if you didn't have people of intelligence? Even like yourself, Chelsea, other young ladies that I've interacted with on here, and it's like, children hear that. So
Mm-hmm.
if children seeing intelligence, put on the back burner or is a bad thing, they're not going to strive, while they're young, to learn. That's why I give you, props for, having your boys, already experience the STEM activities, because that's only going to make it easier for them when they get older, instead of people waiting until they become juniors and seniors in high
Mm-hmm.
school, then trying to find a niche. They'll already be 5 years ahead. So they're not going to have that struggle, because people have to realize your freshman year in high school is going to probably be your longest one. After your
Mm-hmm.
freshman year, next thing you know, you're a junior. And then they're
Yep.
like, hey, your parents are saying, hey, you need to think about what you want to do. Have you been looking at any colleges? Have you talked to your counselor? And
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to be looking like, uh, well, nobody told me. But the thing is, we can research everything we want to learn about except for improving and, things that's going to be positive. I mean, now you have people just Googling. Yeah, anyone can get a surplus of lashes or nails or whatever from China and sell them online. But if you're doing what the mass is doing, then you don't really have something, different to offer. So therefore, you have to look at your profit and loss margins. All that stuff comes into play. So just because something is popular, say, yeah, Michael Jordan's been making shoes, forever, the last, say, 30 years or whatnot. I just can't go out there and have a prototype and say, hey, my shoe's gonna be number one. Michael Jordan did it, as a black man, I'm gonna do it too. That's not how it works. We have to involve feasibility studies, no different than you would do in engineering. If you're going to build a building somewhere, you're going to have the environmentalists come out there and survey that land to see if it's fit, for you to put any type of structure on. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think we just need to learn as a community and have our own mind. Everybody doesn't have the same path, in life. You have to find something that you're good at. Everybody's not going to be a millionaire. So don't basically delete yourself trying to do that. But as far as with marriage and couples, the materialism will come easy, because if the woman is naturally feminine and supportive, that man is not going to mind doing what he needs to do to take care of his family. So
Mm-hmm.
if she's naturally that way, it's really going to push him to move at a faster pace, not in a hurting way, but it's going to give him that sense of satisfaction, say, hey, I really do have a help. So
Mm-hmm.
that is not hard. That stuff will come. But you can't put pressure saying, I want this by this certain time, because life doesn't always work that way. But
Mm-mm.
proper planning, it can help, and you're gonna have, bumps in the road. But the thing is, if you get pushed back, then you just push harder, because anything we want to obtain in life, we put effort into it. And the same thing can be done with, rebuilding our community, and stop saying that somebody needs to do it, but each person makes a difference. That's why I say I give you your props, Chelsea, uh, Chantel, Dee Dee, other people that's really pushing for Black men and Black women, to do the right thing as a whole. Because if the generations after us have nothing to go by, then it definitely won't be a community.
And that's the thing. I know we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago, talking about positivity in the community. And when you were saying it, it made me think about when I was I don't know how old I was. I might have been like a teenager, or I may have even been either just newly married or something like that. And my grandmother would always say, do not allow finances to just be the main determinant of whether or not you're married. And this is the issue that I have with women being pushed heavily towards career. You can always have a career, but you can't always be young and have a family, right? And
Right.
so, you should be making that a priority to start off young and have a marriage. And as long as you have a husband that has good intention and he is working and has a good work ethic, yeah, you're not going to start off with what these young ladies want now. They want out the gate a man to be making six figures. That's not how life works for you. Now, if you are, if that works in the cards for you, where you're a young man and you a young woman and you meet a man that is earning that, then that's different. But most of us, it's not going to happen like that. So let's just, find somebody that we care about, that we can be on the same page about something. We can grow and build together. And nothing is going to be perfect, because once you get the money, then that's not going to be good enough either. So definitely, plan accordingly. Don't just jump out the window. Ladies, and also ladies, please do background checks and do your vetting properly for men, the same way that men need to be vetting for women, and build when you're young. And you're going to go through things, and it definitely builds character. Now my husband is like, whatever it is that I want or that he feels like getting for me, I get. And I don't stress at night. I don't feel the pressure of having to work two jobs. My husband is like, I'm retiring you well before retirement, and you're not going to be working anybody's job. That's what you want. You want a man that's going to put things in place, but you're going to also have to learn that you're going to have to be on a man's program. And by being on a man's program, it's not about doing everything that he wants. It's about working together as a family unit to achieve and accomplish something for your future legacy as far as your children. That's what families did back in the day. 44K median income is still more money than what our grandparents have. Now, take away, we got inflation. But would you rather be making 44K by yourself with 2 or 3 kids, or even if it's just you and you struggling to pay your rent and mortgage? Or would you rather, look at reality, okay, and figure out, okay, I want to have a partner. Life gets rather lonely like that. That gets really tired. You want to have somebody that you can be on accord with and build together and go travel and go do this and that. Get a nice home that you can make for you and your family. Raise your children so they can in turn continue to be great, valuable, contributing members to society. That has been my mission. My sons are so focused. They knew they wanted to be engineers at 3 and 4. They know that they want to be married. They do not want to be nobody's baby daddy. Lord willing, that will continue. They know what colleges they want to go to, because we have a foundation and we support them in that, and we do the research, we do the work. And so the same way we want to research and be a nerd about everything else, if you want to have a successful marriage, you got to be a nerd about that, period.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's hurting for us with marriage and relationships, people have to stop comparing themselves to others' relationships. That's two separate, dynamics. Each
Yep.
individual, is going to have their own certain traits and characteristics that makes them stand out. So we both can have twin brothers and twin sisters, but our marriage is our marriage, and theirs should be theirs, because you start, mixing things that shouldn't be mixed. Because one thing about it, like they say, there's going to be his side, her side, and then there's the truth. And then
Hello.
if people are always involving their family members, the family members are pretty much going to navigate to agree with them, and they may be 100% wrong. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you have to, you know, not do that, because at the end of the day, that problem has to be worked out between that couple. So you guys could have the problem solved, and then you go around some of those family members that you shared your business with. Now they've rekindled that fire that you guys have put out.
Mm-hmm.
So there goes, you know, your vacation. So people have to learn to use wisdom. Everything is not meant to be told outside of
Mm-hmm.
your, you know, your home. And as far as the money, a person can make six figures. Look at a lot of the guys in our community. Those guys can play professional sports for 4 years and make more money than a lot of us will ever see in our lifetime. But then it's all squandered away because
Mm-hmm.
they also have an advantage. Those guys are sent to financial management classes. They have to sit through all types of forms, but yet they can blow away anywhere from 300 to 400 million dollars, and then, you know, next thing you see them, you know, filing bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
And so really it's no excuse. I mean, to be honest, a lot of us came from the hood. I did. I'm not denying it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I tell people, you should see some things that make you say, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of fitting in, feeling like you got to walk around with your skinnies, you know, on your ankles, or, you know, whatever kind of pants you wear, you know, sagging, because the way you present yourself is the way people perceive you.
Mm-hmm. And that made me think too about how there's a content creator I've been listening to for years. His name is Tone Talks. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he talks a lot about the Black community and how you know, things that we can do to be better, especially from a wealth perspective and community building. And he often talks about that, you know, wanting things that other households may have, as if that is the determinant of what a successful relationship and family looks like. A successful marriage is not the one where you got the big, or family is not having the refrigerator or the big house, and you open the refrigerator up, it's double doors and it's the touch screen, and you got the self-dispensing, you know, soda cans. You know, that's
Right.
not a determinant of whether or not your life is going great or not. You know, somebody just said 44K is enough to get by on as a couple. I agree. You know, only
Yes.
if we're desiring lifestyles or other things that we wouldn't know nothing about. If it wasn't social media or if it wasn't marketed towards us, you wouldn't know nothing of it. It wouldn't even be relevant to you. Right.
Yeah.
And
We
so
have to learn discipline.
that is
We have to get back
exactly.
to, yeah, you don't have to trade in your car every year. I mean, you're starting over, because cars depreciate instantly. You can drive it off the lot and want to trade it in with 10 miles. They're gonna knock a few $1,000s off, and then they're gonna turn around and sell that car as if it's brand new. And, you know, that's what I'm saying. That's where, I mean, if you don't care about people seeing you on videos make a fool about your, you know, making a fool of yourself, well, why should you care about people seeing you being monogamous, you know, with a
Right.
spouse? Like there is, I cannot find any type of logical reasoning in that. It's like our community shames the good, and, you know, they
Mhm.
gravitate and celebrate, you know, the bad things, and it's crazy.
It is. And at the end of the day, you don't know what that person is going through when they shut their doors at night and you're not on the phone with them, you're not hanging out with them. They probably miserable as all get out. So, you know, think about, again, identifying some figures that are positive. You know, if they are a person that you can get in contact with, network with that person, and get some advice. I had to get advice just like I would get advice when I was a young mother. So what, did I was married? I had to ask people for certain things, but at the end of the day, what me and my husband choose to do with our children is what we choose to do. And that is
Right.
why it is important to have a community. And even despite social media being full of a lot of negative things, there's so many positive things out there. And this is why I want to have a community, so we can have conversations, and we can network, you know, and have those type of meaningful relationships, and have resources, and just a person that you can connect with that can give you some information and that game that you need. We have men in here married for 45 years, okay, dropping game. Me, married for 12 years, dropping game. We have other people in here have gone through things, dropping game. They have experiences, and network with those type of people. If you want certain type. Now, if you don't care about none of this, it won't matter to you anyway. And that's why it's always funny to me that I have people in my comment section talking about don't come over here if you want to be miserable and you don't care about family relationship. And you might not be miserable. Let me not say that. But if you don't care about what I'm doing, why are you finding my page and trying to deflect what the message is over here? I am pro women. I'm pro men. I'm pro family. I'm not anti any of that, but I'm anti disrespect, and you trying to get off the message over here. So it would be an R. Somebody say facts. They not gonna shame me. I'm happy as hell. Hello. Don't let nobody do that. I've also had people try to convince me to not do certain things, and I would have been 40 years old talking about having a baby because I wanted to put my career first. Nope, I'm not taking that advice. Okay, trying to keep up with a kid. I had my last child at 30. That was difficult. Okay, your body is not the same in your 30s and 40s as it is in your 20s. So just don't listen to things that don't make common sense, is what I'm saying. Trying to keep up with folks. Absolutely.
I agree.
I am pro-real. Thank you, Chelsea. That's all I can be every day. I am not perfect. I have messed up in my life, but I was glad I was able to be aware of my mistakes and do differently, because I just didn't want to go down a certain path, because I have seen enough of what it looks like in the community and in my own family that I didn't want that for me and my children. I did not want to be a baby mama. Wasn't going to do it. Wasn't going to happen to me. I was not going to be doing other things. Not going to be me. And that's what you got to say to yourself. Put you first and get with some like-minded individuals. You will be okay.
Yeah, and people have to realize you may not have the large consensus, but if you have just a few moving in the positive direction, even if only one person is changing their mindset a week from hearing any of you guys' lives, that makes a huge difference. So that's one more person that would be able to bring something to the community, not necessarily financial, but the thing is, they will see that, hey, I have a stable example to say, hey, there's nothing wrong with having a family. There's nothing wrong with being a productive, citizen. And honestly speaking, we all have something positive that, we can offer. A lot of us are just lazy and feel entitled and, always looking for a handout.
Hello. 100. That is so true. And I think that that's the issue that I have when I'm hearing some of these individuals speaking. It's like you do have some skills. If you just applied the energy differently, you would get a different outcome and you wouldn't be sitting up here complaining.
Yes, that struck my memory because I remember Chelsea, I think she did like a short when she was saying that people want to start off at the top, and that's the problem. She was saying that how people want to be like the CEO, but you don't even know how to clean. And see, even the thing about the military, it doesn't matter if your job was to be a nuclear scientist or physicist or whatever. But the first thing they're gonna do is you're gonna learn general orders. You're gonna learn how to clean. They're gonna make you take your socks and put them over the broom, and that will be your new dust mop. You're gonna clean every day of the week before you start learning, anything else. So that includes structure. That includes cleanliness, routine. That's your basics of life, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people that they see as successful, these people didn't start at the top. Of course, you may have a few where things were handed down, but the majority of these people had to learn, work their way up. And honestly speaking, I met the CEO of Whataburger. I actually know his son. I met him back in I think 2009. Very humble guy, but he doesn't work for the company. He actually told me, he said he wanted to have his own path in life. So meaning he has his own career, he has his own, his own family. He does not, disown the organization, but he said he wanted to be able to provide for his own, because generational wealth is not a guarantee. When you look at a lot of these grocery store chains that started, it was started by family, even some retail stores. Look at them now. The inheritance, they sell it off. So you can't necessarily say there's going to be generational wealth, because if it's generational, that means the cycle has to keep going. But if your grandparents' business was sold by your parents, where is the generational wealth? It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So, greed can set in. It's a lot of different, factors. So we have to realize that what is for one may not necessarily, be for me. That's what I say. Everybody has pretty much knows what their niches are in life, but
Mm-hmm.
the internet and other avenues kind of gives people this delusion and illusion that, hey, this is going to be me, tomorrow. But if you don't have your regular people, as they call us, the blue collar or whatever it may be, who's going to consume your goods if no
Right.
if no one's working? So if everyone is an entrepreneur, how are things going to work? Who's going to fix your cars? Who's going to service your appliances? So I mean, we have to be realistic, and there's nothing wrong with having more than one source of income, but you have to start from somewhere. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to start off at the top. Even in the
Mm-hmm.
military, if you're not enlisted in OCS, which is Officer Candidate School, and you go in there with degree, you're gonna be in there with the enlisted guys. Yeah, you may start off as an E3 versus where you could have been, a lieutenant, junior grade, or ensign. So if you don't properly apply your tools, then you know what I'm saying, you're still gonna have to wait your time. So that sense of entitlement, I think, has been hurting us a lot, and there's nothing wrong with teaching children to use their intellect. That's why I don't mind
Mm-hmm.
mentoring
Mm-hmm.
with the young people, because if you get hurt playing the ball, then what? They're going to send you home. They're going to send you home from college, and a lot of people don't
Yep.
realize scholarships those scholarships are renewed each semester. So if they feel like someone else can do better than you, then guess what? They're going to tell you next year, hey, you're more than welcome to walk on. You no longer have a scholarship. So instead of us being reactive, we should be more proactive.
And you're right. It's so conditional. That's why my husband and I, we've gotten some pushback from family because they were like, oh, put them in sports and this and that. My children are actually, all of them are naturally athletic. They probably get that from their daddy. But, he was a basketball player. My husband to this day can run 2 miles, right? Straight, nonstop. He's just in shape like that. And they were like, well, you were like a basketball star in high school. Your sons could do it. And they don't care about basketball. Will they play with their friends? If we go to the park and they see one of their friends or meet with their friends, they'll play. But like, that's not their thing. Like, my sons are into using their mind. That's why they play chess. That's why they like to build games. That's why they're into coding. They're into all those things. They're like all the other children to a degree, but they're not so focused on that because they already know if something happens to your body, like, you don't have to be a workhorse in that way as a man just because you are a male. There's so many things and avenues that you can do. So utilize them all, right? Don't just be so focused in sports that you're not, utilizing the critical thinking skills and other things. So,
Right.
they do swim, they do want to play baseball. So that's something we might explore in the spring for them. We might consider track. I mean, there's just so many things, but that's just not going to be it. Just like I wouldn't tell my daughter to just not get an education. Get your education.
Right.
But when you become an adult, and if you're telling me you want to be married, I don't know if you want to spend all your young years going to school and then you're not at the peak of your health and physicality to carry babies. So there's just so many ways to skin a cat. And as long as you and your potential mate and your spouse have some conversations about what you want it to look like and you are reaching your goals, but just don't prolong it because you're either afraid or you're listening to the wrong people or whatever the situation is. Just go ahead, do what you need to do, even when you're not 100%, and nobody's going to be 100%, but just be proactive, take the initiation, connect with people. Like I tell people, if you want to have conversations offline, we can do that. If you want to talk to whatever it could be about whatever you want to talk to that person that you believe they have that skill set, don't be afraid to ask for help or to ask for mentorship. Mentorship is not just for kids. Grown people can be mentored too. So definitely we want to make those connections and do those things. And Almanize, she said the same thing. We need to stop pushing sports as the first option. Absolutely. Thank you, Rob, for stopping by. I appreciate you for coming by for as long as you could. And guys, please make sure you hit the like button on your way in or as you leave. I so appreciate that. And then what does Leroy says? Injuries do happen in sports, plus competition is fierce. Absolutely. Let's see. Did I miss anything else? So we're dropping channels. And then Almond Eye said something too. She said, if you don't have employees, I do not consider you an entrepreneur. That is facts, because you can't do everything by yourself. We'd like to state all these statistics about businesses and entrepreneurship, but how many of the businesses fail because they couldn't meet payroll or couldn't hire an additional staff person? You can't successfully maintain a business long term if you're doing everything by yourself, especially if you have some type of, exponential growth. You just can't do it.
And another thing I wanted to touch on, that it takes more discipline to be an entrepreneur than it does when you're working for a corporation or someone, because especially if you're the sole proprietor, if you don't get up and do what you need to do, you don't have any income. And then most people say, well, I want to be my own boss. I don't want to work for anybody. If you have customers, you're working for them. So you will never totally not be working for anyone. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we have to think about the things that we say, because if you don't have clientele, whether it's in medical, sales, whatever it is that you're endeavoring in, you have no form of revenue. So you're always going to be working for someone besides yourself.
Absolutely. Even if you're a content creator, you're working for your viewers. You are. We know that, I think I said this every stream, content creation is projected to be it is a $20 billion industry already. It is projected to grow to a $100 billion industry. If you don't show up, let you be monetized and you not do any content.
Right.
You can still generate income off of the other content you have, but you're only as good as your last stream or your last video. So you're still having to do something. And so, yeah, you're definitely right. We're going to all have to answer to somebody. And that is the thing that I think is a little, it doesn't make sense when we hear women talk about, oh, I'm so independent, this and that. If it wasn't for nobody paying you, you wouldn't be independent. So how independent are you? You don't need a man for nothing. Okay. So stop going to work, and then we're going to see how that work out for you. It's not going to, especially if you by yourself. You're not that independent. You don't even have, women take advantage of the luxury that we have to even do basic things. The fact that you can get up, go get in a car, man made that. Man made that. The fact that you can drive somewhere, even if it's late at night or in the dark, safely, people having good sense and the laws keep you safe. Okay.
Not that's why I do
that on your own. Okay.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. That's why I do give the select few of you guys, your credit, because you're not just mimicking, whatever is popular. You guys are basically focusing on, family, marriages, and structure, in the future, in the community as a whole. I mean, we can turn on any form of media to see dysfunction. I mean, that doesn't, have to be publicized, because that's going to even come out by word of mouth, like it did, years ago before all this technology, came out. So if something happened, it went from one neighborhood to the other. So everyone, knew who it was. But hopefully we can have more, like-minded people. I mean, of course, you're not going to have 100%. No one's going to always agree on 100% of everything. And I think that's what people have to realize. And then too, you guys being content creators, the purpose of these lives is more so for enlightenment and not being a debate show. Just because I may not agree with something someone says, that doesn't mean I start attacking them. And it's so much of that going on in the community. It's like someone can be telling the truth, but because that person is not in your circle or your club, then people start attacking that person instead of really listening to what's true. That's why I have to limit what I allow in my ear gates, because it becomes very distasteful in my opinion. But I'm only speaking for myself. I can't speak for others.
And you know what, I definitely understand where you're coming from, because even as I started to change the direction, and I will say this, I don't think I've ever changed the direction. It's just that I started to showcase more of what I've already been about. And if you've been interacting with me on other chats, you kind of get an understanding of where I stand about certain things to a degree. It's just you can actually see me and you can hear me. And so it probably is more of a emphasis on where I stand even more so, right? And so that's why too, I'm so glad I was able to see you today, because I do like to see people, or at least hear their voice, because it does allow an additional connection to the person. And I think you're right. When we watch a person live stream, we definitely don't agree with everything they say. This is really the opportunity for you to just engage with a person that you probably just genuinely rock with, because there's so many people who we could probably watch. But as far as live streams are concerned, you're right. It's about the people that we vibe with. But just because the person says something that you don't necessarily agree with, you don't got to throw the baby out with the bathwater and start going on a tirade on social media. That's distasteful. And one of the things that I wanted to be clear, and that's why I reiterate in my stream, it's not because I want to over explain myself, because the bottom line is too, everything ain't for everybody. I know there's some people that will have listened to me and they will probably never come back to my live stream, and that's okay. That's also why I'm not for a bunch of people just subscribing to subscribe to my channel, because if you genuinely don't like to hear me talk, you know, some people, I don't even want to hear her talk. That's cool too. But I just want people to understand that I'm not coming from a place of I know everything and I'm better than everybody. I mess up. I put my own feet to the fire. I will tell y'all when I have not done what I need to do, because you know, I'm just transparent. I'm not going to tell you everything, but I am going to walk the things that I want people to walk. I can't tell women you need to address your fitness and I ain't working out. I work out.
Right.
I used to be the girl. I mean, I ain't that bad, but still, it's just like I had the banging body when I was in my 20s, and I want to maintain the best body I can in my 30s and ongoing, right? And so I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I can back it up. But also, we need to have some grace with one another and understand that we can't be disrespecting people. We can agree to disagree respectfully. And that's how communities are built and established.
Right. And these children, go ahead.
And then so Leroy says, there's no way for content creators to be held accountable for what they say on their channel. Case in point, Passport Bros. And you know what? And that is what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm speaking to about the grace, Leroy. You got me. We're people. And that is the point. People make mistakes. Chelsea over there laughing. Nobody is perfect. But I think that for most people, whoever we choose to spend our time with, those are the people that we just genuinely have an interest in. And there are times where there have been people that I have watched and I may not agree with what was said. And I might have, all I had to do was click off. I don't got to go on a tirade to talk about them. But at the end of the day, this is just my little corner. And that's why I want other people to come up and talk, because I need to hear other people's perspective, even outside the chat. But if you're just comfortable being in a chat, that's cool too. No issues with that. I just appreciate you being here, because you could be doing other things with your time. You ain't got to be over here in my little channel with 200 subscribers. I ain't nobody. And even if I had more subscribers, I'm still just a woman sharing my experiences. And that's how I present myself.
But
I have
you know what?
And that's it.
You are somebody, sis. But the thing is, popularity doesn't mean that someone is so, I shouldn't use the word better, but that's what comes to me right now. Because if your intentions are not true and there's really no substance to what you're doing, then you're in it really for monetary reasons and monetary gain. But when you can intrigue the minds of people and have them to think outside their box, then you are somebody. Because the thing is, charity starts at home. How can we get out here and always worried about what other communities are doing if we're not addressing our own? And you know, and that's what people sometimes get confused with numbers. I mean, you might have 10 million people disagree with you, but it doesn't mean that you're wrong. Only thing they have done is just formed a consensus. They just agreed. A consensus doesn't mean something is true or legit, because it's not even proven. But those are just opinions by association. And that's why I feel like a lot of us should, you know, have our own mind. I mean, you can tell me, hey, you smoke crack and it allowed you and your husband, you know what I mean, to fly from Detroit to Philly. I'm gonna be like, well, hey sis, hey, if that's what you think it made you guys do, then my hat's off to you. But I'm not trying it. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
like things that are popular, that's what people, gravitate. But when it comes to positivity, you guys may never be popular, but don't worry about that because
And I'm not, and that's why it was so easier for me to, when I decided, well, I got called out about doing live streams because again, it's like with anything else we want to do, right? Is we always want to wait till it's the perfect time. It's never going to be perfect. The same way when I encourage other people, you don't feel like you got to have all these glitz and glamour. You don't have to have any of that. Just come as you are. I mean, be fully dressed, have your face looking good and your hair done, but be who you are. And the people who want to vibe with you will do that, and they will show up every time. I don't care if I had one person on here, I'm going to be talking because I respect anybody that has chosen to give their time to be here. But I always wanted to do something like this, but I never thought I would be doing it online. And so for me to finally be able to transition, all I did was post like little family stuff and little food and stuff like that. And I'm still doing that, but I'm still sticking, that's still family to me. Having these conversations are just an extension of that. I'm going to cry. I have my good sister friend, Miss Maggie, the substitute teacher. Miles, please drop Maggie's channel in the chat. Okay, Maggie is living it up, having a good time with the mastermind folks, and she took her time out to stop by my little old stream and say hello and tell me she's proud of me. So Maggie, I appreciate you so very much. Maggie has also put a battery in her back because she says if you are over 35 listening to Lead, he also encourages us that you do have something to say, and that right, wrong, green, different is so valid, because one of the issues that we see is that there's not enough people speaking up to express their experiences. And again, it's not about you agreeing with everything that they say, but we don't have to be gatekeepers to the information. You know what I'm saying? Like, for what? That's not beneficial. And like you said, the people that will be impacted by you, if it's only one person a year, whatever, so be it. Hope then that has been a good deed that you have done and was not in vain. And so I thank you, Maggie, because I always talk about how I found Maggie doing live streams on Lead Attorney. I have been watching Lead Attorney for a very long time, since the panorama, and then I seen her and I was just like, this is so refreshing to see a woman that is very feminine, and she is showing up and she is giving us a different perspective we do not see. We see a lot of negative things, but we do not see classy women, especially women of color, in this space being themselves, but still showing up as classy, giving good information for women of all ages. And so ever since then, I've been with Maggie since almost a year. Her anniversary is coming up. If you are not subscribed to Maggie, please do so. This is her channel. She is giving game not just for women, but for men too. All things that we can all, even though it's about food, but it's about a community. You come for the meals, but you're really coming to hear the jewels that she's dropping. Okay. And you don't get that a lot of the times. And there are some other women in the YouTube community, but when we think about women who are reasonable, women who are internally and externally beautiful, and just bring a sense of peace, that's what you're going to get on Maggie's channel. Okay. So please, and she got the good meals. So please go over there. Okay. She has an amazing story. Please check out her channel. She has an amazing collab. Okay. Coming up with an amazing content creator. So please check her out, and please hit the notification bell so you know when she goes live, and she's just doing her thing over there.
Yeah. Realistically,
I won't the dress, Maggie, and I cannot wait to see. Let me tell y'all, Maggie she is on next. Okay. When you talk about a woman with class, she's been serving, okay, with the nice outfits, feminine. If you want to know how you can be modest but still be very feminine and very cute, please check out Maggie's channel. She be giving us the jewels. And she also has a second channel. It's called Teachable Moments with Maggie. If you can find her channel and drop it in the chat as well. I'm gonna see if I can find it and put it in the chat too. But she has an amazing channel. She also has a a elegance class too. If you guys want to see, it's not on YouTube, it's on Patreon, but that's strictly dedicated to learning about different elegant skills and techniques and what we can do as men and women, so that way we are the best classy versions of ourselves, and just make those improvements, okay, for ourselves on how we approach when we're at certain events, right? So we talked about when we're going out meeting people, we're going to events, how we want to show up. You don't got to have the most expensive things, but it's how you carry yourself, and you want to be able to do so. And Maggie definitely brings the gems. So I'm gonna find her
We
channel.
definitely need to bring some class back into the
I'm
community.
telling you, we don't got to be, they talk about looking like slaves. Maggie's not giving that type of attire, no offense, but we can be modern and classy and still sexy and feminine, and you don't have to show all your goods to do that, and you can still be approached by good men, okay, while
Yeah.
you're still being assertive in your process.
Yeah, you
Okay.
had triggered me too with one thing. Honestly speaking, we all can learn something from somebody. It's never too late, to
Nope.
stop learning. So you should never, even enter someone's platform as if you're the know-all and do-all, because you can take a person that has no education at all that can still teach you something from their
Mm-hmm.
experience. And we can
Absolutely.
also learn what not to do, from other people's experience. So, I think it's all about being humble. Just have an open mind. I mean, everyone can learn from each other, to be honest, regardless if they're younger than you or
Mm-hmm.
older than you. And age does not trump everything, because you still have guys out here 40s, 50s, 60s, still sagging their pants, still trying to wear some braids, and their hairline has receded to the middle of their head. So it's like, you can't let the age factor, be the determination, because a person's going to act just how they think. If you think like a fool, then you're gonna act like a fool. So, it's I don't know. I just feel like we can do better, but people just have to change the mindset. I mean,
We
because the
do.
children watch. Children are like
Hello.
recorders. Some of them can't spell their name, but they can tell you every profane word that was said in the song verbatim. They can tell you what the grandmother said, what the mom said, all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things. And that's why I tell people there's no such thing as a dumb child. This is what you expose them to.
Hello. Hello. And I see, unfortunately, a lot of that that takes place on my end, dealing in child welfare, where children are emulating things. And unfortunately, it has unfortunate consequences, and then for the entire family. And so, we definitely want to make sure we have some and making some different choices, because it's generational. And then that's a lot to have to combat, and a lot of undoing.
Right.
And especially when I think about, if you know anything about ABA, applied behavioral analysis therapy for
Hmm.
children who have
Hmm.
autism, right?
Hmm.
There are requirements that, especially if you're getting it funded through CMH, community mental health, where you have to commit to a certain amount of time. So think about, if you are a parent, right? You're working, and let's say you're a single parent and you're working. Most
Hmm.
single parents who work, they can't even put their kids in ABA so they can learn different social behaviors, because that's all what autism is really about. It's not even about
Hmm.
an intelligence thing. It's about, they have difficulty with social skills and communication that we
Right.
would deem appropriate. So that requires at least 16 hours to 20 hours a week. Most parents don't have that time to
Yep.
dedicate, even if they are working, right? Even if it's two parents. So that's a lot of
That's true.
unlearning. So we got to do the best that we can early on to try to
Right.
combat some of the things that can develop into developmental diagnosis
Hmm.
unnecessarily, or just issues behavioral wise in general, because they're going to grow up thinking that that's okay. And then we relinquish our children to the community, and then we throw our hands up and say, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Well, not all children learn at the same pace. Like throughout
Mm-hmm.
my academic time, I took advanced classes, from grammar school up. Even though everyone in the class was smart, like some were like super, super, super smart.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's brain doesn't click at the same time. So
Nope.
instead of some of them raising their hands saying, "Hey, I didn't get that," they'll let it go on and see
Mm-hmm.
you missed something that may be essential. But that's why growing up we were taught the dumbest question is the one that was never asked. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you tell me to raise my right hand, and I raised my left and I got a 0 for it, that's my fault because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
comprehend the question. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to teach our children that it's not shameful or there's nothing wrong with you for wanting clarifications. Even adults need to do that. There's nothing wrong
Mm-hmm.
with asking for clarification, because if there's something you don't understand, then you just don't understand it. And also, if you are the presenter, you have to know your audience, just like you broke down what ABA stands for. Not everyone is familiar, when with those terms. So you did the right thing. But then you have people out here just uttering all these words, but you're talking to your everyday normal people. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, even if Chelsea or whatever, whatever people's career path. And so that's why I say, regardless what anyone say, I think you're on the right path, Mona, with your channel, because you've always been a great supporter to others. I've seen that, myself over just the last year alone. So I think you do a great job. Chelsea, she might be saying she does an outstanding job, because
Mm-hmm.
you have to be confident in what you're doing. And the big misconception with that is there is a huge difference between confident and arrogance. When people are being
Mm-hmm.
arrogant, they're overcompensating for insecurity. Because if you think all the way back to your school days, the bully never picked on someone his size. Why? Because
Mm-hmm.
other people that was like Goliath was like him. They're missing something. So that bully has been watching you because they know you have a trait or a characteristic that they really want. So if you really
Mm-hmm.
trace it back, you never saw a bully try to pick on someone that was of their same stature, because that person was more than likely lacking the same thing that they were lacking. And most of the time, that was some form of intellectual ability, because they may be like, well, Mona was never the varsity cheerleader. Why do all the girls hang around her? It was because of your friendly personality. But see,
Mm-hmm.
people want positions thinking that's what's going to bring them. It
Mm-hmm.
may bring them the quantity, but it's not going to give them the quality. So that's why I always tell people, you can be the best version of yourself. That's the best thing to do, in the long run. Just be you at the end of the day. If people don't accept you for who you are, then fine, walk away. Because why do you want to spend your life, pretending? And then one
Mm-hmm.
day you wake up, you say, man, I've been trying to be Mona X all these years when I should have just been Mona D. Now it's too late.
Yep.
So that's
And
what
you
I'm
got
saying.
me.
Have that confidence. Arrogance is not needed. And I hear a lot of people say that, but when you have arrogance, you are trying to overcompensate for insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
That goes back to you saying, like, the not smiling. There's no reason why another woman shouldn't even at least speak to you guys when you go into the gym. Because honestly speaking, even years ago, you did not see black women in the gym. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, you didn't.
It,
You did not.
whether it was on a military base, whether it was out in the public. So now, which I know why a lot of you ladies do it, and I commend you for it. But the reason why a lot of these other people are doing it, because they're trying to look like their social media icons. So
Oh, say
you
that.
know what? So I tell you all, shake the dust off your feet. I've seen you guys do your work in the, in the gym. You know why you're doing it, but you're always gonna have haters. So let your haters be your motivators. You don't even have to call them out.
Oh
Just
no.
continue being yourself and do you, because not everyone's gonna like you. And that's something that a lot of us should have learned at a young age. And that's why some people may
Exactly.
pick on you. If they bother you about being smart, so be it. But when trouble comes, what type of people do they look for? Intelligent, because they're looking for someone
No.
to relieve that pain. They're looking for someone to reduce that jail sentence. They're looking for someone that may
Mm-hmm.
even avoid the jail time, and that all takes intelligence. So, as someone put in the chat earlier, sports should not be the priority for our children, because if you have these children just focusing on sports all year long, they are not really getting any time in with their academics, because they're traveling all across the continental U.S. on the weekends. There's no college scouts looking at your 7-year-old child. We have to be realistic. I mean,
Say that. And you spending all
yeah.
that money for these AAU, ACLU,
Mm-hmm.
all them
Mm-hmm.
U's. AAAs. No, you don't even
And
need to save
some
that money for college. You'd be
and
better off
someone
just
else
doing
mentioned
that.
that it is competitive because people have to realize not only are you competing with high school students to get into college in the U.S., you also have a lot of students from other countries as well. When it comes to these
Hmm.
sports that are competing to get these scholarships, so our community should not be down in intellect. I mean, that's how our forefathers created things. They used their mind. You think George
Hmm.
Washington Carver was throwing around a football? No, he used the strongest tool he had, which was his mind. That's why he was able to develop something so much out of something that's not even the size of your pinky finger. So like I say, keep up the good work, man, with the kids. I mean, regardless of what people say, we don't need any more Michael Jordans. We don't need any more LeBron James, no Deion Sanders. We need more, productive people in the community. And I'm not saying that those guys, you know, have not done things in the community, but it's going to take more everyday, regular people to do these things because we are what children see most, not celebrities.
Say that, man. You look, I just want to say to you, brother, thank you for coming up on my panel. I'm not with you everywhere you be online on YouTube, but it is so nice to see you. A handsome man with some sense, a nice voice. You got
Looking like
great
a
teeth.
bum
You know,
straight
you're
from the
fine. No,
gym.
look, you're fine. You are perfectly fine. Don't we can't be that harsh on yourself. And thank you for mentioning that about the breaking down of like the ABA. One of the things I probably don't talk about a lot is my education because
Mhm.
yeah, I went to school and got several degrees. That's cool, but that's not the core of who I am. For the longest, I could have already had my clinical licensure, but to be honest, that's not necessarily a priority to me because I don't think that that's necessarily going to make a difference as far as my own family's mission. Can that allow me to do different type of work and make more money? It will, but
Right.
at what cost to my time and my family? And I don't think I'm willing to do that, and so for me, that's not like the thing I lead with. I am just a woman. And when I say just, I'm not diminishing my accomplishments, but I'd like to deal with, I'm just a woman and I'm a woman like all of us. And I want us to know that it don't matter what I did not come from a family of privilege. I came from a low income, living on the east side of Detroit, no father in the home, father incarcerated, mother was not stable. That is my life, was in foster care, but the outcomes was already stacked up against me. So I want women and other people to see that, but especially women to know that you can be not of what you've come from. You're not going to forget those things. Some of those things are still going to be in you, but you can change the trajectory of your life if you just sit down for a minute and listen to the people and put yourself in positions, and it's not going to be comfortable. This was not comfortable for me to do. It's not comfortable for me to be on here. I just like it, but it's not always comfortable for me to show up. When you got to
Right.
show your face on, you put yourself up for so much scrutiny when you're up here, no matter what your
Hmm.
intentions are. And I'm putting my family and exposing them as well too. So you're putting yourself through scrutiny, but at this point, I have a message that's beyond me at this point.
Exactly.
And
You
if
have
you,
you have a selfish mindset. So
mhm.
that's another thing, that, and I didn't mean to, cut you off. I thought you were
No, no,
finished,
you're
but that's
fine.
what
No
draws a
problem.
lot of people to you. And that's probably why we can get along so well because I have education, but to be honest, I've never hang a degree on the wall, Mona. But like you say, that
Mhm.
stuff does not make me. I have stacks of, awards and certificates, even from things that I've done here recently, even within the last, say, year or so. I mean, I've had the chance to be on panels with politicians, but like I tell people, they're a man just like I am.
That's
My
right.
focus is to be there to encourage the youth, not to put my name out for something. I'm not running, for an office or anything like that, because if it wasn't for you, my face wouldn't even be on this camera. Like I tell people,
Uh-huh.
no one even has to know my name. I
That's
mean,
right.
that's me. I'm just humble. And does that make me a weak man? Absolutely not. But I
Mhm.
have to do what Chelsea said was, you have to use wisdom, because if you're making it about yourself, how is that encouraging or being enlightening to someone? Basically, you're gonna have them in a selfish, mindset. But like you say, it's good to obtain those things, but you don't make them your life. They are all tools. So
That's
that
right.
that is the whole purpose of learning. And even for those that don't have, degrees, like, but that's why you have trade school. You have some people out there that they're just great with their
Mhm.
hands. They can go and get a certification. Because if it was up to me, if there was one more skill that I could get, I would actually become a certified plumber.
Okay.
That's something that's needed all year round. And then too, you can save yourself a lot of money. I
Mhm.
mean, and I tell people it doesn't matter what your job is. That's what they make the bathtub for. That's what they make the shower for. You're making legitimate money. So who cares if you don't have doctor behind your name? Don't let that stuff make you. Have
Mm-mm.
enough confidence
Absolutely
in
not.
yourself to know that you're making a difference in the community. My father told me, I think it was my junior year in high school. He's like, "Yeah, I know you have one more year." He said, "You know what, son? I don't care what you are." He said, "Just don't be out here on the corners in these streets, man." He
Mm.
was like, "Just be something productive." And he said, "Whatever you do, just put good effort into it, and just enjoy what you do."
And that's some solid advice. And you're right. Because what did our grandparents do? They wasn't getting all those technical degrees and all that. They
No,
did what they had to do and was able to make a living and was able to support their families. And your grandparents was able to stay at home and raise their kids. Or if they worked a little part-time job, came home and did what they were supposed to do, was active in the community. There was just so many things that people were able to do with less. So what are our excuse? And we got more. We got more technology. We
right.
get more money than we ever made. What is the issue now?
I think one the biggest issue is we should learn to be happy for other people when they're doing well, and that's why a lot of us cut our blessings short.
Mm,
I don't care if I turn on this app tomorrow and I see you have now 100,000 subscribers. I'm gonna be the first one to send you a message, say, "Hey, congratulations, Mona. Look at what you're doing," instead of me trying to detract from you. Like, a lot of people don't realize there is so much hidden selfishness inside them. Like, it projects every day, but they can't see it. Like, just learn to
mm-hmm,
be happy for somebody else.
mm-hmm.
I, if I can't say anything really encouraging to you, then I shouldn't even say it at all. I
Hello.
mean,
And
all
and that's
opinions
the
don't.
situation too. Because when we're trying to say encouraging things or just give a person some constructive feedback,
Hmm.
we take it as some people can take it as you're trying to be negative or you're hating. And it's not that I'm hating, it's just that, hey, I just want to call something out that I see because I care about you. And that is
Right.
what the issue that I have with all these little trolls. And again, I don't care about the trolls. I knew it was going to be trolls. I don't care. They find me every day. And to be honest, it's not as many trolls as it is people putting positive comments. And it's not to degrade women. I'm not degrading women. You can
No.
do whatever you want with your life. But I am going to say, as women, we need to be held accountable for the things that we're doing, because you cannot walk around in life thinking that you are beyond reproach, as if your ish don't stink, and that you are just ain't nobody never wrong all the time. It's always you got it all right, and we don't have it all right. Because if you had it all right, you wouldn't be sitting up here on my page complaining. So,
Yep.
you need to think
Yeah,
and
I
take it a
saw
look at
that.
yourself. You know what I'm talking about? And
I
again,
saw
it
that.
don't bother me, but it's just like we're gonna have to do what we need to do and address it accordingly, and just let it be, and understand that everybody is not about a personal it's not a
Mhm.
personal attack, you know.
And sometimes what you're trying to do, you may be trying to avoid them from having the same pitfall that you might have
Mm-hmm.
gone through. But like I
Mm-hmm.
say, that's why I feel like a lot of people have to just change their way of thinking. Like, if you're in defense mode all the time, it's going to be hard for you to improve because nobody can tell you nothing. And that's why our community is just going in so many directions, because no one wants to be corrected. No one wants to have structure,
Mm-hmm.
but yet you want the benefits of it. Like, I don't see a benefit in living with somebody for 20 years when you could have been married to them for 20 years and you got the same issues. You have 5 children. You
Woo!
have all the household responsibilities. So why not be married? But the thing is, if you're not married and one of the cohabitants or whatever you want to call them gets injured or passes away, only the children can get benefits from that because you're not married to them. Unless
Yep.
you in a state that may have, you know, the little common law, but still that bloodline of that family can fight for that because they were
Yep.
already related to them. You were just living in the same dwelling with them. So it's like
Yep.
I don't know why people are out here, you know, shaming marriage, but yet you would want to do all the things that married people do, which it makes no sense. I don't
What
know.
did it what did it say?
Maybe it's something wrong with my brain, but I
It's
just
not.
never could understand
The math ain't mathing on that. Okay. We see what's happening with
that.
PNB Rock. PNB Rock, baby mama, been with that man for who knows how long. They got children together. That man didn't have nothing in place for them. She
Yeah,
gets
but
nothing.
our community brags about it though.
They
That's the
do.
sickening part about it. Brag about being baby daddies and baby mom. It's no substance
Woo.
in it. Just like there is no substance in swag. Swag does not pay bills. Like it doesn't matter what you can get that's designer or you know what the celebrity is wearing. It doesn't change your personality. It doesn't get rid of your problems. You still have to go home and deal with that same stuff that's in here
Yeah.
every day. People don't
Mm-hmm.
realize celebrities have problems too. The rich and famous, they're no different than us. They're still human
Nope.
beings at the end of the day. So they just have access to things a little bit faster than we do.
Yep.
So that's why you might get a alert or something on your phone saying such and such has died, but then you find out a couple of days later it was overdose or you know due
Yep.
to drug usage. So they are not immune. So I just hope that we stop using celebrities as our go by for success.
Yep.
You know when it comes to marriages and stuff like that because it's a it's a lot of untold not being you know displayed out here. That's why I commend you ladies for wanting to have other ladies to have accountability. So let them all call you pick me's, pick Misha or whatever, because trust me, any good man would rather pick a woman than take a recycled pass around any day because
Woo-wee.
that person is going to bring on the spirit of everybody that they have been with. And that's why so many of our sisters are out here crazy because they have multiple spirits housed in one body and they don't know what to do with themselves. So what happens when they do find that good man? They can't stay with them because they're used to just being able to hop around, go from
Yep.
man to man, and they're not used to stability. So it's
Yep.
like, don't be mad at these women that only wants one man. She doesn't want to share herself with other men, you know? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, don't let them change your mindset. Like I said, I commend
Mm-hmm.
you all
And
because,
that's
like I
why
said, I
I
mean,
brought up the Lori Harvey situation because, and let's be clear, I could care less about celebrities, but it makes
right.
for good topics because that's what people
Mm-hmm.
talk about, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you know, that is a beautiful girl. Like I can't take that. That girl is beautiful. She has, you know, a lot of things that most of us probably won't have, but in terms of just physical, right? But when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to, and again, I don't know nothing about her bedroom, but the issue that a lot of women are not considering is that you have women that have already been married. I put that one video up where I
Mm-hmm.
found a woman, she could be 30s, early 40s, been married, got divorced, talking about she and her Lori Harvey era. Ma'am, if you don't sit down somewhere, you sound like a whole clown out here.
Yep.
You're trying to tell me, okay, there's women out here that thinking in their 30s and 40s, thinking that they can do and don't have half of her looks or her resources, right? The name that she has ring bells. You think you can do what she doing?
Yeah. She's only able
Success.
to do that because of her outer appearance. But see,
Mm-hmm.
she's not really probably sharing with people those bad mental experiences that she's having, you know, at night when it's time to go to sleep. Like you hear so
Exactly.
many people on these panels saying instant connection. To me, that must be instant lust because how are you gonna know somebody just off of one encounter? That's that's impossible. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a connection is going to develop. How do you even know what that person likes? How do you know what their interests are? Just off one occurrence. It's not going to happen.
Mm-mm. And the
So
young
I
girls are thinking that they can do that, like that is okay. And you don't know. who you may have passed up. You probably passed your husband up trying to do those things and emulate what this woman is doing. She may have already passed her husband. So, you know, maybe she's not. And I can't speak for that for sure, but women should just not stop trying to be on the trend of what other people are doing that's in a whole nother lane that you ain't in. Live your life. If you meet a young man that is good to you and you're good to him, stop trying to think you could pass him up because it's going to be, you know, another man waiting on you. You don't get that many chances. You're going to out man yourself.
Yes.
You're going to be you 21, then 30 is right there. We think that time goes by so fast. Don't let yourself have a baby and then it really goes by fast.
See, after college, a man is expected to pretty much be basically made like oatmeal in the microwave. By the time you're 24, you need to have your life in order. You need to be productive, be ready to be a provider, you know, a protector and all this. But then yet we have so many of our sisters out here 30 plus and they're still trying to find themselves. Like something is wrong with that equation. If we both graduated high school together, why is it that I should already have something built and you're still trying to find yourself? The problem is you've given yourself out to too many different men. So it's going to be impossible for you to find yourself. Your feelings are stretched across however many bodies you done dealt with. And I'm gonna prove this point without any statistics. I'm just gonna be real. Dealing with our community. I have some in my family. They can be with a great guy. Tell me why it's so easy for them to go and get with the ex that they may not have seen in 10 years. You know why? Because that man still has a part of your body. See, you've done given yourself out. Now you don't know where that person's been, how many people they've been with, but see, when you play around like that, that's how people get you. You giving away your most valuable things at an early age, and then you come out 30 plus and I am the table. We don't need any more broken tables in the community. We have enough. No, we have enough. And a lot of these things, it's not new. It's just that the technology exposes it more. Back then, the ones that they call Pookie now, that was known as Mr. Jody. People need to learn. They need to listen to some of their grandfathers and great grandfathers. They were out here raising two different families. Same thing with the grandmother couldn't raise, two different families, whatever was in her incubator, that's what she raised. But all this cheating, all this stuff, it's not new. It's just that now technology just puts a magnifying glass on it.
It does. You just said a whole lot of words. Okay, you said a whole word and some. Successful. Let me just say that you are telling the truth. We definitely have to be mindful with what we are doing with our bodies, because it's an entire spirit that we have for our body and our spirit. And this is why you're never going to be fulfilled, because you're going to constantly be chasing that next fulfillment in a man, and it's never going to be there for you. So you're going to keep going and going. You're going to potentially, risk having babies along the way. Okay. And if you keep them, now you got all these babies. So then you go and you go and you go. And then now you have two children with how many, or however many kids, or even if you don't have any kids. So let's say you didn't have the kids, but you still had those experiences. You done had all those kids, or you done did all these different things with your life. You're never going to be satisfied. So then you're going to be like Tracy Ellis Ross, having regrets about the choices that you made potentially.
Yes. That's the thing, Mona.
About, I've had to accept. You had to accept. You did. You had to accept. You prioritize.
We all have to be accountable.
We do. And instead, okay, and just say, look, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. That's okay. It's okay. We all don't do everything we're supposed to do. There's a lot of things I'll be like, why did I do that? Why did I go get this degree that I'm not going to use?
Exactly. I mean, that's why I tell people we all have to deal, with the choices that we made, honestly speaking. Then I always pose this question. Like, I hear a lot of guys, they tell about their experiences and, how these women say, oh, well, I only date men that's 6'5" and above and all that. And I said, well, I'll pose this question to even some of the females in my family. I said, well, when something happens where there's a shooting or a fight, or whatever, I said, how many of these men that's 6'5" and above do you see going to try to get rid of the threat, or are they running, leaving you? I said, so I tell people you have preferences, you have standards, and then there are the fetishes. Because when violence comes, I don't see those guys trying to protect anyone. Most of the time, they're protecting themselves. So that woman that's 4'10" or 4'11", 5'7", whatever, she's somewhere trying to get those heels off, and that 6'5" guy has already run down the street, sending her a text asking, where you are. So like I said, we just got to deal more, in reality, because a lot of these things that are being said out here on the internet is bad, but a lot of people agree with it. But it's just like I said, people may have their preferences and choices, but you still have to be real, because I don't look at it as settling, because sometimes some of us can overvalue ourselves. You can put yourself as tier one when you should be down in the basement. I mean, yes, your aesthetics may be good, but if your mentality is wrong, you still have work to do, and we all can always improve to do better. And then that's why I say, if we put the same amount of energy on ourselves as we do on others, then our community would be at the top, and not the bottom. Because I'm the type of person, I'm very critical of myself. I always feel like I can do things better. Even when it comes to me cutting my grass, I'm going to walk the yard and make sure that it looks presentable, because anything that I put my hands to, or if I say it, that's a representation of me. So that's why I'm always holding myself accountable and having hard standards on myself. That's just me. I'm not saying that everyone has to be like that, but yet we should look at, the representation that we're sending out.
100%. So, look, you said a lot of words. First of all, I'm so thankful to have you. I love, especially when we have men that are showing up. Y'all been, first of all, if you didn't know, the men been dropping gems all day. Almond Eyes kicked us off with the amazing question for today, which was, she talked about women being more visible if they are pursuing marriages. So how we can do that. The fellas just came through, hit us with all the good gems and the information. So thank you, fellas. And thank you, Successful MD, for showing up on my channel. This is such a privilege and an honor that you chose to come up here and speak to me and everyone here that is listening. So I so appreciate you for that. And we also had Michonne here. Please check out Michonne Denise channel. Chelsea dropped it in the chat. And then who else do we have? Big Smooth. Please, Big, put your channel in the chat.
Yeah, my brother.
Big is also a brother that is supporting in the community. Okay, so we can hold ourselves accountable. All right, and
definitely Miss Michonne. Yeah, she's wants women to do better, because Section 8 is now failing them, so they got to step up to the plate.
Michonne, you do such an amazing job of bringing that. If I just had a little more time to be digging into that stuff, because I deal with them on the other end in real time, right? I get the phone calls about the people are getting evicted and the parents don't have nowhere to go. The food stamps didn't cut off because a parent was too lazy and they didn't turn in the paperwork, so they don't get no food stamps, but they can go get them some bundles and some lashes though. They can find time to do that, but they won't turn in the documentation to make sure that they can get the food stamps, or they don't even got a job so they can get the food for the kids. Okay. Please check out.
Go ahead. You know what, Mom? The thing about that is, a lot of these programs were created for temporary purpose. Of course, we know we have some people that have permanent disabilities and things like that. So it's no shade or no frowning upon them. But for these people that are able-bodied, the thing is, if you're having free rent, that gives you time to save a lot of money to put a down payment down. It can be a starter home. It doesn't have to be the best, but at least you don't have to worry about someone serving you notice saying that you have, 30, 45 days to vacate the premises. So our priorities a lot of times are out of order. We can have block parties. We can have all this, but then you're just wasting money. And then too, if your credit score is good, you don't have to have a whole lot of money to put down on a house. There are so many options and opportunities for first-time homeowners. And the thing is, property value most of the times go up. Houses appreciate. They're not like cars. Cars depreciate instantly. So you always can have some type of good value, in a home as long as it's being, kept decent and in order. But that's why I was saying sometimes we just have to broaden our way of thinking and stop just listening to what these naysayers and the negative people are saying. Hey, if you don't want to buy a home or own a home one day, that's on you. But don't knock someone that's trying to do better, for themselves and their families. Because if they tear down all the projects nationwide, then what's going to happen?
Oh my God, don't make me think about that's gonna.
Hey, I've lived in them, so
me too.
I know what it's like, and I'm not ashamed of my experience, but like I tell people, that has nothing to do what's up here upstairs. So
Nope.
only thing that tells you is this is not where I want to be for the rest of my life. And there are a lot of brilliant people that live in public housing, and I know that for a fact because I was around them. But it's all about your individual choices of what you want to do.
110%. And then hold on. When I get going with the DIY videos, I'll clean the language. Okay. I think yes, please do that. So I have a question for you that is kind of on subject but not on subject. Do you plan on do you have a channel? Do you plan on posting content? Let us know. Is that your thing or you just want to be a supporter?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not, my YouTube channel is probably older than all the content creators that's most popular on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when YouTube first came out, it was to help a lot of people in the community with like do-it-yourself projects because someone may have lost their spouse and they can't afford to be, paying these contractors.
Okay.
So if you actually click on my username, you will see my channel was probably established like I think '05 or '07, something like that. And this was the second one. I had one that was, older than that because it was most of tutorials. You can learn how to do anything, build antennas. People were even doing STEM projects, in the early 2000s. So I don't know. I've been dwelling on it. I don't know if I really have time because I think I've shared with Chelsea one of my entrepreneur activities that I have, and she was like, "You got to do it. You got to do it." But I don't know if I can really be consistent enough right now to, do content. If it would be similar to, what you and others do. It wouldn't really be a focus on relationship, but it could include it. It would probably be more just trying to put positivity, in the community because yeah, even though the kids I mentor, they're not my children, but at the same time, these are the same people that may have to take care of us if we become elderly. So there's no guarantee that your family's gonna stick around, your children, when you get older. So if we let them know that they can be somebody in the community, then that's gonna be, your return on investing your free time. I mean, I don't charge for it. I mean, I'll give these kids a whole day. I'll take off work and give them the whole 7 hours of school.
So
Something that,
no, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was just saying that it's something like if somebody would have told me over 20 years ago that you would spend your free time or time volunteering and spend with children, I would have told them they're crazy because I knew how wild and crazy kids were when we went to recreation centers and like boys and girls club. We were wild. Just like a lot of them were. Well, I wasn't, but I'm just saying, as a collective whole, children were just wild, and I was like, I don't have the energy to be dealing with baby's kids. But hey, sometime our plan is not, it's not God's plan. So I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. Some people may say, oh, that's a simp putting in time with another man's kid. Those children didn't ask to be here. That's what people have to realize. Children didn't create themselves. So if they don't see anything positive in their life, how do you think they're going to have positivity at all?
Mm-hmm.
But believe it or not, yeah, I can be anywhere. And these children, some of them are in high school now. Like I said, I've been doing it almost 9 years. They will run up to you and hug you. And some of them you don't recognize because they look like they've aged, 10 years and it could only be, 3 years have passed by. But I don't feel like it's rewarding for me. The true reward is seeing the happiness, in these children. They get attached, because really all of them really want is just some time. They just need some time and some type of attention, because you have 7-year-olds out here raising their 2 and 3-year-old siblings, which it's crazy. So that's another reason why our community really should value having a monogamous mate and being married, because children wouldn't have to be adults at such a young age. And that's what has been hurting our community for the longest. And instead of you being able to enjoy being a teenager, you got to take care of your younger siblings. That's not your job.
It sure isn't. And that's why I'm saying you should probably consider starting a channel, and you don't have to do it every day. Like, do it when you can. Maybe make it like a day where you're going to do just to have like a live stream and have a panel, or start posting some content that relates to community, with whatever time that you have. Because I definitely know I had to ease into it with me having a family and husband and work and stuff like that. So I encourage you, because that is also a perspective that is missing here on the community, that you can lend your voice to and have a channel to. And of course, we're going to come support you. So Almond Eyes is clapping because she is in support of what you are saying. So just consider it,
Oh yeah, I will definitely. I mean, I know, there are some of you ladies that have your own mind, which that's good. That's why I consider you, my good sister, as from the beginning. Like I say, even if you disagree with somebody, doesn't mean you have to disrespect them. See, children revert to name calling when they don't disagree, but then you see a lot of this going on with us so-called adults. So what examples are we really setting if we're exuding childlike behavior? So we have to be careful, because the average child has a smartphone. So, and they have iPads and all, so they can go on here and see everything, and see the most popular videos from these algorithms are going to pretty much show them the dysfunction. It's not going to pull up you guys channels and stuff, on the algorithm. And I hate to say it, which hate is a word I really don't like all these little dances that these young girls and stuff are doing. When we were children, they were doing the same thing.
They were, just we didn't have
that's how they were welcome them. Yes, that's how they will welcome people into the neighborhoods and into the projects. The same exact thing. So I mean, as the good book said, there's nothing new under the sun. The people might think their methods are new, but it may be far as with technology, but the concept itself is still the same. I mean, as you guys call them, the thought behavior is thought behavior. So if you're dressing these young 2 and 3-year-olds to show their body, what do you think they're going to want to do when they become 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, so on? So we definitely have to be careful. I'm not saying they have to be dressed like Raggedy Ann, but they need to know what it's like to have themselves, covered, so that people can respect them. And you always hear people say, well, it doesn't matter if that person's covered or not. A man is still gonna. I was like, don't worry about it. He might be 1 out of 10. Because one thing about it, if he can't really see what he wants to see, then 9 times out of 10 he's gonna leave you alone. But if you're advertising yourself as a such word, then that's why they come at you like that. It doesn't matter if you have 10 PhDs. That's why I was saying the way we present ourselves is the way that we're perceived.
Absolutely. And again, you stay dropping facts and continue to speak those facts where I know you will, because that's what you do. I'm
just laughing at me.
I know. Right. He threw me off for a minute. I was like, hold on.
That's my guy though, man.
They be wearing these tight clothes and won't respect. No, ma'am. Absolutely. They looking like, the what I want to call them, the chicks that they have for them raunchy clothes on like Fashion Nova website. They look like that all day when you go outside. And I'm talking about from the teenagers up to older than me. Some of them be dressing like that. It's like you're
Hey,
never gonna grow up. You
that
know,
that's why
you know,
they don't get invited. That's why they don't get invited to corporate events.
nope. I'm not. We're not doing the slave garments. We're not doing potato sacks either. Okay, let's keep it a buck. Um, we don't have to dress like that, but we do need to be a lot more tasteful in our attire. It was so funny, and somebody brought to my attention on my club pictures. And even though I was in the club, I was still not dressing with my butt out. Like, and I was like 19, 20 in them pictures, 21. And so it was just like, okay, we definitely need to have respect. A man will still choose you dressing modestly. You can, because if you got it, you got it. It's going to show regardless. But nonetheless, you don't have to advertise yourself like that. You got to have something more than that as well. You can have that, and let's keep it a buck. You got to be attractive, but you still got to have an attitude and the mindset to match.
Right.
That's why my man London's Way be kicking him out the car. If y'all ever watched them pranks I did the other night, you will see what I'm talking about. She thick, she cute, but then you get in the car, airhead is going on.
Well,
Okay.
see, that's what men really value women that have stable minds, someone that wants to bring peace, and not chaos. Because regardless of what kind of job, even if you work from home, whether it's in
Mm-hmm.
technology, when you're done, you want positive energy, not someone that's going to be, nagging or being combative. Like that's crazy. But that
Mm-hmm.
lets you know that's what some people are accustomed to, because you hear the smallest thing being complained about, like preparing a plate. What does that take? 2 minutes? It
Right.
takes longer. It takes longer than that to prepare a heat and serve microwave meal. So you complaining about the shortest thing that it takes to complete, which is fixing the plate. Preparing the meal takes longer. So
Yep.
it's like you'll complain about fixing the plate for 2 minutes tops, but yet you can sit in somebody's shop and get your hair braided for 8 hours. Like I don't
Or
I don't get it.
endlessly, mindlessly stroll on TikToksic or some of these other
Hmm.
places,
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah, I just think a lot of the solutions to our issues in the community is very simple. I think it can be it's very simplistic. Just bring back standards, respect, and have some structure. And we can see our community going in the right direction. Because if I was a business owner, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would not put a business in one of our communities right now. I mean, look at Atlanta. People are shutting down things because of the behavior of our youth. So don't tell me to save the community, black man, because I didn't destroy it.
And what did I say? You already in the kitchen because you cooked. What is the issue? Y'all, I have no clue about that. It's we
Hey,
could.
I'm thankful I can burn my own biscuits if I want some though. So it's good to be well rounded. So I wouldn't have to worry about someone throwing it in my face. I mean, like I said, I'm fortunate to have some hands-on skills. So
Okay.
I'm good, good
Well,
on that aspect.
I thank you for coming up. I'm about to wrap this thing on up because we've been on here. Can
Totally
you believe
enjoyed
it?
it.
For almost 3 hours. Well, that was because you came up here with your amazing insight and perspective as a positive brother in the community. And of course, the chat, y'all are wilding, but y'all dropping some gems as well. Any final thoughts before I drop you down?
No, I just want to say, keep up the positivity. As long as I'm on the earth, I'm gonna continue to try to support you in any way I can, and anyone else that's trying to, move in a positive direction with the community and holding our people accountable. So, like I said, I'll give you two thumbs up for doing what you do.
I thank you and I appreciate you for that feedback and for again spending time with me today. And Chelsea says time goes by fast when you're dropping facts. I agree 100%, Chelsea. So thank you again for spending time. I'm going to drop you down before I end this. So thank you and have a
Yeah,
good
and
rest of
peace
your
to the
day.
chat as well. Enjoyed you all.
All right. Thank you.
You all.
All right. So Almond Eyes says, this has been awesome. Hello, Cree Cree. Thank you for showing up. Happy Saturday. I thank you for stopping by. We are about to wrap this thing on up. Can y'all believe we've been on here for 2 hours and 53 minutes, y'all? Look at us having some great conversation. I thank you for stopping by. Please make sure you guys like the video. Did you guys enjoy this? I'm seeing that Almani said this was awesome. Chelsea said this was great. What do you guys think? Hold on. Somebody said side note. Y'all remember Lil Jon? Why is he the halftime show in KC? Oh, I have no idea. And then Cree said, damn, I missed all of it. Well, you can always watch it if you have, just replay if you want to. But I'll be here going live again. Like I said, I'm testing some things out as far as when I'm going to go live. So what? Today is Saturday. I'll probably go live again, go live again, maybe Monday night or maybe Thursday, one of those 2 days. I'm not going to do Wednesday. Lawrence says, salute, Mona. Thank you again for being here. Lawrence came through dropping the gems for us ladies about things that we can do to assist us in finding a potential spouse, how we can carry ourselves, what we can do to initiate that. And then Big says, I already know it was a grand chop. I was just late. Look, you're never late. Look, people got life to do. And with all the things going on social media, look, you get to my channel when you can. I understand. So I thank you guys for watching today's stream. I had fun talking with you guys. I like the open chats because I like when you guys can just bring things up and we can just chat openly. Do you guys want to continue to do that? She said the white folks is mad about it. Yes, child. We can do a topic. Like I said, I may return on Monday night, but I'm definitely going to come back on Thursday again to do another live, and then probably on Saturday as well. I'll be posting on my channel or on my community tab. And thank you, Chelsea. Thank you to all the mods, Almond Eyes, Big, Successful for coming up. Again, I appreciate you for coming up and talking with me and contributing to the conversation because we definitely need to hear that information. I will be posting on my community tab. So if you ever have ideas, you can always hit me up on social media. You can always let me know in the community posts what I can talk about if you have any ideas. But we'll just take it, one stream at a time. And Successful saying peace and respect to all of you. And so on that note, again, please like the video as you leave. If you haven't, share the video. Also, if you are not subscribed and you find value in my content, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification bell. Hopefully it will work if YouTube is not hating. And I will catch you guys on the next stream. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and weekend and be blessed and safe and healthy. Peace.